in his victory speech. Tech evangelist and venture capitalist Peter Thiel famously said in 2015 that his rule number one was not to bet against Elon. Trump supporters were called garbage. They came together to raise their stink. One personal anecdote of the Democrat pendulum that had swung far. Sometime in July last year, present US Ambassador to New Delhi, Eric Garcetti, was giving a lecture on Indo-US relations at the Indian Institute of Technology in Delhi. I was in the audience. He quoted from a very famous poem by Robert Browning. But a man's reach should exceed his grasp, or what's heaven for? And then, after a moment's pause, Garcetti added, since it's 2023, a person's reach should exceed his grasp. This quote is from the poem Andrea del Sarto by Browning, and it essentially means that people should strive for goals that may seem beyond their reach. The pursuit of something seemingly unattainable is what gives life meaning and aspiration, similar to the concept of heaven representing a higher ideal. Garcetti, a former mayor of Los Angeles and hence close to Hollywood, degendered a 19th century poem to fit the present American zeitgeist. Trump was lampooned that he picked the issue of illegal aliens killing pets in Springfield, Ohio. And then we had the bizarre story of the Environment Conservation Department of the Biden administration euthanizing a pet squirrel, Peanut, on doubt of rabies, prompting an internet outrage in the midst of campaign. Peanut did not die in vain, said Bill Ackman, and pictures went viral of a squirrel at Harris' campaign's stage before her concession speech, suggesting that it was the ghost of Peanut haunting the Democrats. Imagine. The Peanut story in many ways typifies this American election, highlighting the Democrat overreach and the smugness to democracy on the ground. You know what? Pendulums swing both ways. So it would in the United States too. We are in the moment of the pendulum in the Trumpism territory, but it might have already started its journey the other way. Nature abhors extremes. Let me take you back to the Trump victory speech. While praising Musk, he said, a star is born. But that does not necessarily mean it's going to be good for Tesla's balance sheets. For Trump also said in the same speech that America has more oil than Saudi Arabia and that they are going to pump out a lot more of it, which means the global transition to electric vehicles might get pushed. How long before Elon feels the heat in his quarterly numbers? Trump faced the brute force of law enforcement agencies in what came to be called as lawfare during the campaign targeting the former president. Well, from whatever we know of Trump, it might not go unresponded. There are revenge lists already circulating on the platforms like The New Yorker and Politico of names of those in the Biden-Harris administration that could be targeted by the new Trump team for going after the president-elect last 4 years. Which brings me to my own understanding of what's happening in the United States. These are conversions of a society in a nation that's past its prime. America is grappling with its declining influence. Cold War was bipolar. Post the Cold War, America enjoyed a good 2 decades of unipolar dominance. But the last 10 years have been of negotiating a world of increasing multipolarity. Russia cares 2 hoots. Europe seems disconnected in its own postmodern shell. China is snapping at its heels. The small military skirmishes with US allies like Philippines in the South China Sea are testing waters for a larger military takeover of Taiwan. The superpower response would be an interesting watch whenever it happens. We have seen how a medieval militia like the Houthis created a global trade choke point by controlling the Bab al-Mandab Strait between the Red Sea and the Gulf of Aden. What did the American might do? The opposite of masculinity cannot be effeminate. Obviously, a section of Americans was disturbed. A Trumpist America would withdraw from the chaos that it cannot control. Wars would see disinterest and perhaps rightly so. It would build walls of tariffs, of immigration, even literal physical walls at its borders. There is both an opportunity and a threat for us in India as for the rest of the world. Brace for headwinds on exports of physical goods, tighter visa controls, pressure to buy more of US oil than Russian oil. There would also be some good, lesser interference in internal affairs. Bangladesh would be set right. Trump might be more appreciative of India's national security concerns. Remember, the Biden administration revived maintenance contract for the F-16 fleet with the Pakistani Air Force that was dwindling, thus giving a new lease of life to the PAF. Expect Trump to not oblige the Pakis for a bargain, of course. Ultimately, the world would negotiate this churn in American society and move on, like it always does. We should too, to our next story.
Director, the taste of success.
ट्रंप की जीत के बाद पूरी दुनिया में कयास लगाए जा रहे हैं कि अब क्या होगा। तीन चीज़ें होने वाली हैं। एक तो ट्रंप की जीत के बाद पूरी दुनिया की जो राइट विंग है उसमें खुशी है। लेफ्टिस्टों के यहाँ मातम सा छाया हुआ है, जैसे कि लेनिन, मार्क्स और मावे के चेलों का मोक्ष सा हो गया है। वैसे कन्फ्यूशियस बहुत अच्छे महापुरुष थे, लेकिन उनके चेलों ने लेनिनवाद, मार्क्सवाद, माओवाद के नाम पर जो फसाद फैलाया है वो भूल गए कि कन्फ्यूशियस जिन्होंने समाजवाद का, साम्यवाद का, एकता का, समानता का दर्शन दिया, वो कन्फ्यूशियस के चेहरे तो कन्फ्यूज हुए पड़े हैं ट्रंप की जीत के बाद, क्योंकि राइटिस्ट लोगों के जलवे हैं, उनके यहाँ दिवालियाँ मनाई जा रही हैं। दूसरा, अमेरिका फर्स्ट, अमेरिकन फर्स्ट, नेशन फर्स्ट, ये जो पूरी दुनिया में राष्ट्रवाद का जो पूरा जलवा था, अब मैं उसको थोड़ा सा खराब शब्द नहीं बोलूँगा, मैं ये कहूँ कि राष्ट्रवाद का उन्माद सा छा रहा है, क्योंकि हम तो प्रकृति के, संस्कृति के उपासक है। देखो कितना सुंदर सा फूल है, हम तो पूरी दुनिया को फूलों की तरह ऐसे मुस्कुराता हुआ देखना चाहते हैं। इसलिए मैं कहूँगा राष्ट्रवाद का उन्माद नहीं, राष्ट्रवाद का प्रसाद, उससे पूरी दुनिया में खुशी है कि भाई जो बात स्वामी रामदेव करता था, जो बात आत्मनिर्भर भारत की मोदी जी करते थे, जो वही बात अब तो ट्रंप भी कह रहे हैं, मेड इन अमेरिका, मेड बाय अमेरिकन्स, और अमेरिकन्स ही मिल करके एक नया अमेरिका बनाएंगे। पूरी दुनिया के लोगों ने अमेरिकन्स के हक भी काफ़ी छीन लिए थे। तो अब राष्ट्र हित पर सर्वोपरि है, राष्ट्र धर्म सर्वोपरि है, राष्ट्र प्रेम सर्वोपरि है, नेशन, देश सब कुछ है। ये विचार, ये संस्कार अब हिलोरे ले रहा है पूरी दुनिया के अंदर। तो
Moving to the second one, Rahul Gandhi, India's leader of opposition and the Congress party's sailor-in-chief when it comes to negotiating ideological wins, came out with an op-ed in the Indian Express on November 6, attempting to communicate his position and politics on business and its interactions with society and the government. The piece itself was not a comprehensive one, but gives a glimpse of his thinking on the subject of capital and capitalism. Let me summarize the op-ed before I analyze it for you. Rahul Gandhi seeks to present a picture of India's business and industry as a limited monopoly that is throttling larger entrepreneurial spirit of the nation with the backing of the state. like the East India Company was used as a tool to exploit India by the colonial British government, the new monopolists are amassing wealth and power to the disadvantage of a great mass of citizenry, in the process making India an unequal and unfair place. In this unequal enterprise, the present state backs them with tools like the ED, CBI, and income tax to browbeat competition in favor of these monopolies. Rahul goes on to say that against these match-fixed monopolies are smaller, agile, new age companies, of which he names about 24. They are new and old, brick and mortar, click and mouse, and even app and AI. No pattern per se. He then connects this classification with his politics of standing with the poor and the weak, giving example of Manrega and farm loan waivers. Essentially, by some strange logic, there are government-favored Brahmin companies, and then there is the Dalit business world, to which he promises a new deal. So what's his new deal? Rahul wants banks to look beyond these monopolies and to lend to the fair practice businesses. He believes that jobs, innovation, and fair play are being overshadowed by monopolies, oligarchies, and intimidation by the state. Since Manrega is mentioned as also right to food, the prescription seems to be the rights-based phone banking governance which characterized UPA 1 and 2 years. The new deal is more like old wine, only in the Indian Express. Op-ed page. First up, Gandhi's writers shot him in the foot by calling the Maharajas of yore as a compromised lot, effectively alleging that they sold the country under duress or for bribes to the East India Company. The political storm saw erstwhile royal scions from Diya Kumari of Jaipur to Yaduvir Varyar of Mysuru, from Jyotiraditya Scindia of Gwalior to Gayatri Raje Puwar of Devas in MP, hit back at Rahul for his ignorance of the complex history of our freedom struggle. But I'll come to that in a bit. Rahul Gandhi has been on a harangue of sorts the past couple of years, targeting key business groups of the country, particularly the Ahmedabad-based Adani Group. Rahul's politics has been to show the group's rise as connected with the state patronage under the Modi government in New Delhi. That the Modi government has created an oligarchy to the detriment of more democratic business growth. If chikanry were a currency, Rahul Gandhi would have been a rich man. Not that he already is not. Every time he attacks the group, pictures pop up of Congress leaders from Ashok Gehlot then to Revant Reddy now with the promoters of the same Adani group. But then Rahul's attacks are a proxy for a larger shift Congress has taken towards Marxism under him and his mother, Sonia Gandhi. Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru was a Fabian socialist, enamored of the rapid strides made by Soviet Russia. That is the reason why under Nehru's watch, India's top institutions from the civil services to the planning commission, from university campuses to judiciary and the media, were all infused with various shades of leftist hue. All this created the industrialization mess with his commanding heights of state control, smothering a spirit of enterprise in its infancy. He famously told J.R.D. Tata after nationalizing the Air India in 1953 that profit was a dirty word. Daughter Indira Gandhi knocked Fabian, which means caution, out of the window, pressing the pedal on full socialism with a spate of nationalization laws, most famously of the banks. It was a knockout punch insofar as a liberal free market enterprise goes. India did not recover for decades. Sometime in 1959, Nehru was inaugurating an assembly line factory of a defense PSU in Jabalpur of Madhya Pradesh, manufacturing the 3-ton trucks for the Indian Army. In his speech, he mentioned how at some stage in the future, he would want to see the private sector also doing this. He lamented the lack of capacity then, because of which the government had to bear the burden. Criticizing that speech, Pandit Deen Dayal Upadhyay of the Jansangh, representing the right wing in Indian politics, wrote in a newspaper column how state monopolies were being created by throttling space for the private capital, by use of law. The monopolies were festering in capacity, scarcity, and corruption. Pandit Nehru should walk the talk on competition by deregulating non-defense sector at least, unquote. Imagine, this was 1959. Also, it is not a coincidence that both the privatization of Air India and the inauguration of a private sector defense company building a military aircraft in the country both happened under the present Modi government. Incidentally, both going to the Tatas. JRD's soul would be in some solace. In fact, the socialist mess Nehru's policies were creating led to the formation of India's first and only truly liberal party, the Swatantra Party, by former Congress stalwart C. Rajagopalachari, or Rajaji as we call him. Others part of the founding team, K.M. Munshi, N.G. Ranga, Meenu Masani, were all former Congress leaders frustrated at the suffocation of the liberal spirit and throttling of private capital in the country. How successful Swatantra became in challenging Nehru and Indira's economic policies can be gauged from the fact that it became the principal opposition party, cornering 44 Lok Sabha seats in the 1969 general elections. But that triggered the go for broke pivoting to economic povertarianism of Indira's Garibi Hatao years. As if Garibi was a cow that could be just shooed away. The nationalization measures were crippling for the economy, but worked to great effect for Indira's politics. The appeal of Garibi Hatao consolidated her hands against the syndicate, the group of leaders led by Morarji Desai, who were revolting against her leadership. Desai was in fact sacked as finance minister by Indira the evening before she brought the law of nationalization of banks. Another step by Indira, abolishing the privy purse of the royals, turned princes to paupers. This was the same period that peak income tax rate was raised to 97% and a wealth tax of 3.5% was introduced. The talented scooted to foreign shores. Industries shut. Businessmen opened Swiss bank accounts to preserve their wealth. Nationalization of more industries followed. Coal to metals, mining, insurance, to even hospitality. With both pillars of support, princes and big business gone, Swatantra Party dwindled into oblivion. Those were intelligent and intellectually agile statesmen. The likes of Ranga and Munshi had warned Nehru on the perils of leaning on the USSR against China. They were proved right when Khrushchev looked the other way, as China smothered India in the Himalayas in 1962. The Swatantra leaders anticipated a two-front war situation with China and Pakistan decades ago and advised Nehru and later Indira of jettisoning the non-aligned movement and mending fences with the West. They espoused a classical liberal agenda of free market, individualism, and a democratic polity. Meenu Masani's speech opposing the bank nationalization move of Indira Gandhi is instructive of the foresight of those leaders. And I quote, "At home, both the depositors and the borrowers who today enjoy freedom of choice between various banks will now face one soulless monopoly. Experience has shown that whatever is nationalized has three evils. One, that it is subject to bureaucratic red tape and inefficiency. Second, that it is subject to political influence, graft, and corruption. And third, that inevitably almost all state enterprises make a loss." Unquote. Rahul, in his New Deal article, talks about monopoly and corruption, both a legacy of his mother and grandfather. Some on social media highlighted that Rahul's op-ed was plagiarized from British statesman Edmund Burke's treatise on India, which panned the then British colonial state to exploit us through the tool of the East India Company. Irrespective of whether Rahul's writers plagiarized the content or just the idea, apart from showing that subconsciously, Congress still defers to the English mind when searching for thoughts on policy, the op-ed gives an ample hint on the worldview of Rahul Gandhi on wealth creators and their interaction with society. Rahul Gandhi might have been very young when his father, Rajiv Gandhi's government, declared a big industrialist a persona non grata, slapping deportation notice, just because he happened to be in a mongoose fight with another industrialist who was in favor of the Congress party. I'm talking about the Nusli Wadia versus Dhirubhai Ambani battle, which had its own share of swings and intrigue. But then that's for later. The hard left turn of Rahul has left many congressmen also confused. Take the case of Sandeep Singh, a close aide to both Rahul and Priyanka Vadra, who helps them in their speeches. While at the JNU, Singh was a member of the All India Students Association, ISA, the student wing of the Communist Party of India Marxist-Leninist, or CPI-ML. He was caught on camera waving black flags protesting the visit of Prime Minister Manmohan Singh to the campus in November of 2005. Or look at the frequency with which Rahul leans on left-leaning Delhi University professor Apurvanand for advice, despite the fact that he is known to be critical of Sonia Gandhi for not doing enough on the 2002 Gujarat riots. The wealth redistribution that Rahul Gandhi has been talking up the last few years is classic Marxism, and you know from where it is coming. Post-independence, there was a happy cohabitation between the Congress and the Communists, the Congress occupying direct power and the left by proxy through institutions. Imagine the irony. Through much of the Nehru-Indira years, the economic planning was in the hands of godless communist economists churned out of campuses like the JNU and the Delhi School of Economics. Having failed miserably in their job and having turned India into a development mess, guess what? They put the blame on the majority religion of India, Hinduism, calling the product of their failures the Hindu rate of growth. Rajiv Gandhi's speech in 1985 from the Mumbai AICC annual session that also marked 100 years of the Congress spoke eloquently of how a corrupt ecosystem around Congress leaders had detached the grand old party from the realities on the ground. He expressed frustration at the manner in which caste divisions were being played up. Rajiv doubled down against caste politics in his Lok Sabha speech in 1989, opposing the Mandal Commission report. That was also his longest parliamentary speech. Rajiv Gandhi was Rahul's father. Despite being disinterested in politics, Rajiv was an early computers enthusiast, a pilot who traveled the world and had the restlessness to bring some of it home. Despite being starry-eyed about Soviets, Nehru did not bite into Stalin's violent left. Despite tilting more socialist, Indira kept the window ajar for calling Savarkar a patriot. In his desperation to claw back to power, Rahul Gandhi has closed his eyes to his own family legacy. On the left and business, of course, Rahul has just taken off the facade. And, oh, by the way, the left turn is only for politics. In personal life, he invests wisely. As per some media reports, his portfolio of stocks has made great strides since Modi came back to power in June. It's okay if he gets some of it right, so long as you are getting me right. Thanks for watching.
Amity has been ranked among the top universities globally for producing the most employable graduates by the Times Higher Education UK. Yet another testimony to Amity's excellent placement record.
The time has come once again when the greatest economic minds of India will gather under one roof and discuss the driving forces behind a thriving economy. Republic Media Network presents the 4th edition of the India Economic Summit, Viksit Bharat Bullseye, a platform where topmost ministers, visionary policy makers, renowned economists, and influential industry leaders and entrepreneurs will chart India's economic future. Tune in on Tuesday, 12th of November for all the live action. Mahavikas Aghadi agrees to Ulema's pro-minority demands. BJP calls out appeasement of vote bank politics. Ulema issues 17 conditions to Mahavikas Aghadi, says agree to the demand and take the support.
उनका भाई हर एक को अपना इख्तियार है वोट देने का नहीं देने का, उनका इख्तियार है। हमारा काम, हम जहां हमारे कैंडिडेट है वहां पर अपना प्रचार करेंगे।
Meanwhile, AIMIM backs Ulema's support to Mahavikas Aghadi, asks why is there hatred against one community?
एससी को कमजोर करके सरकार बना लेगी, यही उसकी चाल है। आपको याद रखना है, एक है तो सेफ है।
In Maharashtra campaign, Prime Minister Modi reiterates call for Hindu unity, says ek hai to safe hai.
कि एक एक बांग्लादेशी को झारखंड की धरती से निकालेंगे।
BJP takes a strong stand in Jharkhand, says all Bangladeshis will be sent back and that no tribal status for children of infiltrators will be given.
जन समर्थन भारी उत्साह, क्या लग रहा है झारखंड में इस बार परिवर्तन तय है?
पूर्ण बहुमत के साथ यहां भारतीय जनता पार्टी की सरकार एक बार फिर से बनने जा रही है।
Amit Shah leads BJP's Jharkhand campaign in Jamshedpur, says the mandate of the people will give a befitting reply to India alliance. Starting this edition with some breaking news now coming in from Jammu and Kashmir, where there's been back-to-back anti-terror operations. Army, in fact, has now neutralized one terrorist in Sopore. That's the latest now we're getting in from our reporters on the ground. A massive anti-terror operation has been launched in Sopore. A cordon and search operation has been called right now. Let me try and go across to my colleague Arawat, who's getting us the latest details. Arawat, what are the details are you picking up? This perhaps is yet another anti-terror operation that is basically underway. Give us a consolidated report of all that we know so far.
Absolutely, Sean. As we have seen yesterday that the day-long encounter took place in North Kashmir, Sopore, in which we have seen that the two highly trained terrorists were neutralized by the joint security forces and a huge kg of arms ammunition have been recovered from them yesterday. And then after we have seen that there were reports that the one terrorist is still around the areas in the Sopore. Then after we have seen that multiple operations were launched in the North Kashmir Sopore this afternoon and the outskirts of the Sopore. And the reporter confirmed to us that the one terrorist have been neutralized in this ongoing operation in North Kashmir's Rajpura Rampura area. This is the forest area where the ongoing operation is going on. This operation has been started by the Indian Army's 22 Rashtriya Rifles and the Special Operation Group of the Jammu and Kashmir Police. And after we have seen these operations are taking place when we have seen that the terror attacks taking place in the Kashmir Valley, particularly we have seen in the North Kashmir that the non-locals were targeted and also a grenade blast took place in the central Kashmir, Srinagar. After that, we have seen that the intelligence-based agencies has told that there are attempts continuously by the Pakistan-based terrorists to create disturbance in the Kashmir Valley. And we have seen that the high alert was sounded from the line of control areas to other cities and towns of the Kashmir Valley. And this is the big win for the security agencies, and that back-to-back anti-terror operations are taking place in the Kashmir Valley. Particularly, if we talk about it from last 14 days, we have seen that the 7 terrorists neutralized from the north to South Kashmir. Particularly, we have seen yesterday that two Pakistani terrorists were neutralized during this day-long gunfight in the North Kashmir Sopore. And after that, we have seen that the more anti-terror operations were launched in the parts of the Sopore. And this time, we have seen that the exchange of fire took place at around 7:30 this evening, and one terrorist have been neutralized that have been confirmed by the Jammu and Kashmir police.
Just a quick question. Rahul, just a quick question before I let you go. This is with regards to the operations that have been carried out so far. Is it targeted with the recent infiltrations that have taken place? Because there was a confirmation coming in from the Kashmir IGP stating that there are reports coming in that fresh infiltration ahead of the winter has taken place.
Yeah, absolutely, Shaman. As we have seen that the intelligence agencies have said that 150 to 170 terrorists are trained at the multiple launching pads in the Pakistan-occupied Kashmir. In fact, they are trying to create disturbance in the Kashmir before the winters. And there are also reports that officials have also confirmed yesterday during the press conference of Sopore encounter that they have accepted that the infiltration has taken place in the northern Kashmir. Also, if we'll talk about the Gagangir attack, there too is the part of the recent infiltration. There is possibility that the ongoing operation, where we have seen that one terrorist have been neutralized so far in this operation, there is possibility this might be the newly infiltrated group from the Sopore area, because we have seen yesterday that the two foreign terrorists were killed by the joint security forces. Earlier, we have also seen in the North Kashmir, so Kupwara sector, where we have seen that the Pakistani terrorists have been killed. Moreover, one terrorist have been neutralized in this operation, and search for other terrorists is on. Shawan.
Well, thank you very much, Arawut, for getting us the latest details, the story that we'll be tracking very closely. What we know so far is that one terrorist has already been gunned down in Sopore. Another breaking news now coming in. A tragic LPG cylinder blast has taken place in Krishan Vihar in North Delhi. This happened a while back, leading to the collapse of a part of a residential building and leaving one woman dead, another critically injured. The incident took place at Q Block, Hanuman Mandir Wali Gali. This was near RD Public School in Krishan Vihar. In fact, we have been told that firefighters were immediately dispatched to the site, and the two fire tenders arrived at the location. In fact, they found that the explosion had severely damaged a portion of the house, which was a two-story structure. For more on this, I have my colleague Akhil joining us on this broadcast. Akhil, what's the latest that you're picking up on this story?
Well, Shaman, if you see what has happened this evening, that an LPG cylinder blast has taken place in Krishan Vihar area near Hanuman Mandir. So what has happened at that point in time, when that incident took place, at that point in time, there was a lady who was inside that house. It's a G+1 floor. At that point in time, there were two persons inside that building, and the half portion of that building collapsed, in which one person has lost his life, who has been identified as and another person has got severely injured, who has been identified as Renu. So both of them are women. One is Renu has been identified as a 20-year-old woman, and the second one is identified as a 24-year-old person. So we are still waiting for further updates in that regard right now, because this is a breaking story. And what we are learning from our Delhi Fire Service team, DFS team, that there were two fire tender services that have been sent to their spot as of now, Shaman.
Well, thank you very much, Akhil, for getting us the latest details. We'll shift to focus now to the other story that we're getting to you tonight. This has now become the biggest talking point in the poll-bound state of Maharashtra, where the Ulema board has in fact written to the Mahavikas Aghadi, offering them support for forming the government in Maharashtra in return of 17 demands that they have made. Now, essentially what they have indicated that they've expressed their readiness to support Mahavikas Aghadi candidates campaigning for them and to contribute to their election efforts. Following the letter with 17 demands from Maharashtra's All India Ulema Board, Sharad Pawar's NCP has sent a letter expressing gratitude for their support and appealed to the board to campaign for the victory of Mahavikas Aghadi candidates. Now, the board has said that has perhaps laid down several conditions that need to be met in exchange for their support. Take a look at this report. Well, in fact, before we take you through the details of the report coming in, first listen into the response coming in from the Ulema board.
जिनसे हमारी बात हुई है, शरद पवार जी, नाना पटोले जी, उदय ठाकरे जी, इन्होंने कहा जो संविधान के दायरे में रहेगा वो आपका मंजूर करेंगे।
तो आपसे किससे मुलाकात हुई थी?
हमारी शरद पवार जी से मुलाकात हुई, जयंत पटेल से हुई, उदय ठाकरे जी से हुई, तुम्हारे नाना पटोले जी से हुई।
अच्छा, तो इन्होंने आपकी जो मांग है 17 मांगे है ना आपकी?
जी सर।
तो इसमें और क्या क्या मुद्दे थे आपने जो अपना मांग रखा सर?
तो उसमें बताया ना आपको, जो पूरे मुद्दे तो अभी आप उसमें है, लेकिन मैं अभी आउट ऑफ में हूँ प्रचार के मराठवाड़े की तरफ। अभी उसमें मेन मुद्दा यही है हमारा कि जो अभी इलेक्शन आएंगे, अभी तो सिर्फ हमने उनसे मांगनी की है, कोई मांगनी हमारी मंजूर अभी नहीं होंगी। जब सरकार बनेगी महाविकास आघाड़ी, जब की बात है ना ये।
अच्छा, तो
सरकार तो नहीं है किसी की।
तो उन्होंने कहा कि आपको कि जब हमारी सरकार बनेगी तो आपकी जो 17 मांगे हैं उसको हम पूरा करेंगे, ऐसा?
संविधान के दायरे में।
Well, in fact, the AIMIM has also responded to the 17 demands that were made by the Ulema board. In fact, Asauddin Owaisi, while campaigning in Maharashtra, said that there is an attempt that has essentially been made by the ruling dispensation to target one particular community, and he sees no reason why there should be a problem if the Ulema board is demanding reservation for Muslims.
उनका भाई हर एक को अपना इख्तियार है वोट देने का, नहीं देने का उनका इख्तियार है। हमारा काम, हम जहां हमारे कैंडिडेट है वहां पर अपना प्रचार करेंगे। हमको यकीन है कि इस शहर के, इस तारीखी शहर के दोनों सीट पर, वेस्ट और ईस्ट पर, इंशाअल्लाह ताला इम्तियाज जलील साहब और नासिर सिद्दीकी साहब यहाँ के नए आमदार बनेंगे।
Well, in fact, a slew of responses are now coming in. In fact, the BJP has hit out at the Mahavikas Aghadi, saying that this is yet again an attempt made to appease the minorities, and it once again reflects the appeasement politics of Mahavikas Aghadi. Listen.
बोर्ड है, ये बोर्ड वाले भी जानते हैं और बोर्ड वालों के जो है वो बाप भी जानते हैं कि नव संघ पर जो उनकी प्रतिबंध की बात है या जो जिस तरह की नाजायज़ बातें हैं वो पूरी होने वाली है, एक चीज़। दूसरी चीज़, उसके साथ ही साथ अघाड़ी के जो खिलाड़ी हैं वो भी अच्छी तरह जानते हैं कि अघाड़ी में जितने जो है वो छेद हैं उससे ज़्यादा अघाड़ी के साथियों में महत्वाकांक्षी मतभेद है। छेद को रफू करने और मतभेद को रफू चक्कर करने में चुनाव भी निपट जाएगा और अघाड़ी भी निपट जाएगी, और ये सब जितने अघाड़ी के खिलाड़ी लोग हैं जो मांग का पत्रक लेके घूम रहे हैं वो भी निपट जाएंगे।
कि उन्होंने क्या मांगा है? नौकरी और शिक्षा में 10% मुस्लिम आरक्षण, ये उनकी डिमांड है। ये कॉपी हमारे पास है। तो श्रीमान राहुल गांधी, श्रीमान खड़गे जी, अगर पूजा पद्धति उपासना के नाम पर हिंदू हो मुसलमान हो आरक्षण नहीं मिल सकता तो वोट की सौदागरी में कहां तक जाएंगे आप? नाना पटोले अपने मन से ये पत्र लिख रहे हैं जो आपके अध्यक्ष हैं, या आपकी सहमति से पत्र लिख रहे हैं? ये बताइए आप। बीजेपी जानना चाहती है। राहुल गांधी, द बीजेपी वुड लाइक टू नो, बिकॉज एनी रिजर्वेशन ऑन religious ground is totally prohibited. The Constitution does not permit. The Supreme Court judgment also prohibits that. How does your president of Maharashtra Congress tell the Jamaat-e-Ulema will consider it? A downright divisive communal demand of 10% reservation for Muslims. ये हम जानना चाहते हैं। राहुल गांधी कांग्रेस पार्टी कितना देश को तोड़ेंगे आप वोट के लिए? कहां तक जाएंगे आप? कोई शर्म बची है आपको? वोट के लिए कुछ भी स्वीकार कर लेंगे आप? कर्नाटक के चुनाव में हमारे मित्रों को याद होगा पीएफआई का सहयोग लिया था कि नहीं लिया था इन लोगों ने। काफी उस पर टिप्पणी यहां से की गई थी, मुझे भी एक बार बोलने का पार्टी ने अवसर दिया था। द कांग्रेस पार्टी इज क्रॉसिंग ऑल लिमिट्स ऑफ कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल प्रोप्राइटी and political propriety to get votes to defeat BJP.
I've just seen your demands. The thing is that the demands are nothing less than the demand for giving the country as a whole to the jihadi forces. You see, if you talk about the reservation to Muslims, if you talk about the salary to the muajims, if you talk about the buckboard issues, that could have been the separate issue. But if you talk about that withdraw all those cases against the elements of terrorism, the terrorist, you talk about free hand to all Muslims, if you talk about ban the RSS organization and all, this is all nothing less than compromising with the country's sovereignty. I'll say that with the one vote, you are negotiating with the country. It is very important issue, and the election commission must take up this issue, not the party only. And if the party, if any one of the party give assent to the demand, that I will say they are also anti-national. Because this is complete and clear-cut agenda of Muhammad Ali Jinnah. He want to negotiate between the country and the Muslims. That's why he taken back the more important part of the nation to Pakistan.
देखिए, उन्होंने पत्र भेजा और दूसरी तरफ से कांग्रेस पार्टी ने तुरंत उस पत्र को स्वीकार करते हुए कहा कि हम इन 17 मांगों को कंसिडर करेंगे, इन पर चिंता करेंगे, आप हमको चुनाव में समर्थन दीजिए। दिखता है कि किस प्रकार से ये वोट जिहाद का मामला चल रहा है, किस प्रकार से ये जो यूपी में हुआ था, जब मरिया आलम ने जो सलमान खुर्शीद की भतीजी थी उसने भी वोट जिहाद की बात कर दी, वही आगे बढ़ते हुए आज महाराष्ट्र के अंदर भी वोट जिहाद की बात हो रही है। ये कांग्रेस को जवाब देना है, उससे ज्यादा उद्धव ठाकरे को जवाब देना है कि क्या वह इसके पक्ष में है कि वहां पर शरिया लागू हो।
महाराष्ट्र में महाविकास आघाड़ी कांग्रेस की सरकार आते ही राष्ट्रीय स्वयंसेवक संघ आरएसएस पर प्रतिबंध लगेगा। ऑल इंडिया उलमा बोर्ड महाराष्ट्र ने महाराष्ट्र प्रदेश कांग्रेस अध्यक्ष नाना पटोले के पास 17 मांगे की, उसमें से एक मांग है आरएसएस पर प्रतिबंध लगाना, जो कांग्रेस ने मान्य की है।
Out of the Maharashtra polls, BJP is conducting back-to-back rallies in the state, with Prime Minister Modi addressing public rallies in Akola as well as in other parts of the state, where he essentially launched sharp attacks on the Mahavikas Aghadi as well as particularly the Congress party. Take a look at this report.
Seems like unity pitch has become the poll mantra for BJP in Jharkhand and Maharashtra. In his back-to-back rallies, first in Dhule, then Nasik, and now in Akola, PM has amplified his unity pitch. PM even accused Congress of pitting one caste against another. Listen in.
कांग्रेस एससी समाज के अधिकार उनसे छीन लेगी, एससी को कमजोर करके सरकार बना लेगी। यही उसकी चाल है, यही उसका चरित्र है। इसलिए आपको कांग्रेस की इस खतरनाक साजिश से सावधान रहना है। आपको याद रखना है, एक है तो सेफ है।
Not only this, PM launched a scathing attack on Congress and National Conference over the showdown in J&K Assembly. He warned Congress and allies to not encourage Pakistan's agenda.
ये कौन लोग हैं जो फिर से 370 को लागू करना चाहते हैं? अलगाववादी इसकी मांग करते हैं या नहीं करते हैं? आतंकवादी संगठनों ने 370 हटाने का विरोध किया था कि नहीं किया था? पाकिस्तान 370 का रोना रोता है या नहीं रोता है? जितनी भारत विरोधी ताकत है, सब के सब 370 का समर्थन करते हैं और वही कांग्रेस की भी भाषा बन गई है। कांग्रेस वही भाषा बोलती है।
Furthermore, PM Modi ripped into Congress and Rahul Gandhi over the constitution blunder.
संविधान के नाम पर लाल किताब छपवाना, उसमें से संविधान के शब्दों को हटाना, ये संविधान को खत्म करने की कांग्रेस की पुरानी सोच का नमूना है। यही कोशिश इन लोगों ने आपातकाल के दौरान की थी, इमरजेंसी में की थी। अब अपनी अलग किताब छपवाकर ये संविधान का मजाक उड़ा रहे हैं। सच्चाई ये है कि कांग्रेस और उसके साथियों को बाबा साहब के संविधान से नफरत है।
Meanwhile, he has launched a scathing attack on Maha Vikas Aghadi, calling them a corrupt party. Listen in.
मराठवाड़ा में 11 सिंचाई योजनाओं को मंजूरी दे दी गई है। इस क्षेत्र की सिंचाई की समस्या दूर करने के लिए मराठवाड़ा वाटर ग्रिड परियोजना शुरू की गई थी, लेकिन जब महाअगाड़ी की सरकार आई तो उसने इस पर रोक लगा दी। अब महायुति की सरकार ने इसे दोबारा गति दी है।
Maharashtra is set to vote on November 20th, while the votes will be counted on November 23rd.
Well, it's turning out to be a high-octane campaigning in Jharkhand. Leading the campaign is none other than Home Minister Amit Shah. He's torn apart the JMM Congress alliance, once again referring to the fact that infiltration was at its peak during the rule of Jharkhand Mukti Morcha and the Congress alliance. In fact, in an exclusive interview to Republic TV, Home Minister Amit Shah says that the Bharatiya Janata Party will be coming back to power with a full majority.
जमशेदपुर में केंद्रीय गृह मंत्री अमित शाह हुकार भरते हुए नजर आ रहे हैं और यहाँ पर आप देख सकते हैं जनसभा, जन समर्थन देखने को मिल रहा है। केंद्रीय गृह मंत्री अमित शाह हमारे साथ हैं। सर, तस्वीरें हम देख पा रहे हैं, लोगों का प्यार नजर आ रहा है, भारी जन समर्थन, भारी उत्साह। क्या लग रहा है, झारखंड में इस बार परिवर्तन तय है?
पूर्ण बहुमत के साथ यहाँ भारतीय जनता पार्टी की सरकार एक बार फिर से बनने जा रही है।
सर, यूसीसी की बात आप कर रहे हैं, लेकिन विरोधियों के पेट में दर्द हो रहा है।
चलिए, इसका मेरे पास कोई इलाज नहीं है। हम सारी ट्राइबल जातियों को एक्सक्लूड कर यहाँ पर यूसीसी लाए।
सर, जो घुसपैठ का मुद्दा है, डेमोग्राफी चेंज का मुद्दा है, लगातार बीजेपी उठा रही है, लेकिन आपको लगता है कि कितना समय इसमें लग सकता है और क्या सबसे बड़ा कारण है इसको लेकर?
देखिए, केंद्रीय सुरक्षा बल, गांव का पटवारी, पुलिस स्टेशन और डिस्ट्रिक्ट कलेक्टर के बीच में जब तक कोऑर्डिनेशन नहीं है, घुसपैठ रोक नहीं सकते।
सर, लोकसभा चुनाव में इंडी गठबंधन ने बहुत कोशिश की कि संविधान का नाम लेकर आपको तोड़ा जाए, पार्टी को नुकसान पहुंचाया जाए, लेकिन एक है और सेफ है का कोई भी कार्ड विपक्ष निकाल नहीं पाया है।
देखिए, जो बात इन्होंने जातियों से तोड़ने का कहा है, इसका जवाब झारखंड की जनता।
आखिरी सवाल मेरा रहेगा सर, उलेमा बोर्ड की अगर मैं बात करती हूँ तो उलेमा बोर्ड ने महाविकास अघाड़ी को लेकर समर्थन किया है और सबसे ज्यादा कांग्रेस भी वक्फ बोर्ड का विरोध कर रही है।
नहीं, अब झारखंड की जनता तय करेगी हरियाणा की जनता ने तय कर दिया है, महाराष्ट्र झारखंड की जनता का मैंडेट आ जाने दीजिए, इनको भी समझ आ जाएगी.
Well, that's all that we could pack in this edition. On the other side, coming up, an exclusive conversation with our political editor Aishwarya Kapoor, speaking to Baba Bageshwar. This is with regards to not only a call for Sanatan Dharma, but also exposing what he says the ill deeds of the Waqf board. Listen in.
Amity has been ranked among the top universities globally for producing the most employable graduates by the Times Higher Education UK. Yet another testimony to Amity's excellent placement record.
The Pakistan Cricket Board is willing to make adjustments in the schedule of the 2025 ICC Champions Trophy, which it is hosting, with matches involving India set to take place in the UAE, which is a climb down from its earlier stated position. This could mean that the tournament may be held in the hybrid model, as the Indian government is unlikely to allow its team to travel to Pakistan in the existing socio-political environment and security concerns for the national team. The last tournament that Pakistan hosted was the Asia Cup in 2023, which was conducted in a hybrid model, with India playing their matches in Sri Lanka, as the government refused to permit the players to travel across the border. The PCB feels that even if the Indian government does not clear the door to Pakistan, slight adjustments can be made to the schedule, as in all probability, India would play its matches in Dubai or Sharjah, a source in the PCB told news agency PTI. According to the tentative schedule proposed by the PCB, the marquee Champions Trophy match between arch rivals India and Pakistan is slated in Lahore on March 1st next year. The tournament is set to begin on February 19, 2025, with Pakistan facing New Zealand in Karachi. The final is scheduled on March 9th at Lahore's Gaddafi Stadium. According to the tentative schedule, all of India's matches have been kept in Lahore for security and logistical reasons, but that is likely to change. Meanwhile, the PCB is pushing the ICC to announce the schedule for the tournament by next week, as some top officials of the world governing body are due to visit Lahore again next week. The PCB has discussed with the ICC the tentative schedule which they sent some months back and wants the same schedule announced on 11th November. It has told the ICC that since a backup plan is already in place with a revised budget, there is no sense in delaying releasing a tentative schedule of matches, the source to
America has a new president, and it's the old one. Donald Trump has made what is being called as the biggest political comeback in American history. Is it just about Trump, or is it about America negotiating its superpower status with the rest of the world? Also this week, Rahul Gandhi sought to intellectualize his attacks on Indian business. What's the message? Is he renegotiating?
Amity has been ranked among the top universities globally for producing the most employable graduates by the Times Higher Education UK. Yet another testimony to Amity's excellent placement record.
There you discuss about the collaboration between India and Israeli companies. How important it is at this moment Israeli companies startups to come into India, as you mentioned in your speech, and how the two countries and companies in two countries can work together.
Well, in this bootcamp, we have concentrated in introducing AI tools in different fields like health, education, and environment to local startups that are, trying to conquer markets in the world. This is a very important tool to introduce, utilization of new technologies like AI, and it's part of the general effort we are making here in India to bring India and Israel to work together on advanced technologies. There is a huge interest in Israel in the
India Economic Summit over the years
has become a very successful conclave for deliberation. It's become a platform for vision. As the Union Finance Minister, steering the country through the most difficult and the most unprecedented of times with her calm and cool demeanor. Ms. Sitharaman knows well enough how many cynics there are in this country, but I must say it, you have taken the country through many, many crises.
नमस्कार दर्शकों, मैं हूं ऐश्वर्या कपूर और आज मेरे साथ खुद बाबा बागेश्वर मेरे साथ हैं। आपका बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद।
सभी दर्शकों को रिपब्लिक के और आपको भी खूब खूब धन्यवाद।
दादा, मैं ये कह रहा हूं कि मेरे को पता चला आप भी एक यात्रा निकालने वाले हैं। मैं शुरुआत सीधा पॉइंट पे आता हूं। तो ये यात्रा क्या आप सबको एक करने के लिए निकाल रहे हैं?
ये देश यात्राओं का देश है। यहाँ राम की भी वनवास यात्रा हुई, महात्मा गांधी की दांडी यात्रा हुई, आज जगत गुरु शंकराचार्य की चारों मठों की स्थापना यात्रा हुई है। इस देश में यात्राएं हमेशा सफल हुई हैं। वर्तमान में हमारे हिंदू सनातनी परिवार जातियों में बहुत ज़्यादा बटे हुए हैं। छुआछूत भी है, भेदभाव भी है, गांव-गांव में ये सबसे बड़ा मसला है। हमने इसलिए विचार किया कि राम ने जब सबरी के घर बेर खाए तो क्यों ना हम सबको एक करें, अंगड़े और पिछड़े की लड़ाई को मिटाएं, भेदभाव को दूर करें, छुआछूत को दूर करें, एकता के नारा को दें, लेकिन सनातनी एकता पर जोर दें।
आप प्लीज माइंड मत कीजिएगा, मैं थोड़ा आपसे मजाक भी कर लेता हूं, लेकिन सीरियस सवाल से शुरुआत कर रहा हूं। आपने कहा एक करना है, आपने कहा सनातनियों को एक करना है। आप जब बोलते हैं तो लोग उसका राजनीतिकरण या उसका एक राजनीतिक लाइन निकाल लेते हैं। पहले बाबा ने कहा, यानी योगी जी ने कहा, मैं उनको बाबा कहता हूं, बाबा ने कहा, फिर उसके बाद प्रधानमंत्री ने कहा एक रहोगे तो सेफ रहोगे, प्रधानमंत्री ने कहा। बाबा ने एक बार नहीं, एक दर्जन बार कह दिया, बटोगे तो कटोगे, एक रहोगे तो नेक रहोगे। आपने एक वाली बात पकड़ ली और आप यात्रा निकाल रहे हैं।
नहीं,
क्या
ये यात्रा का संकल्प हमारा बहुत पुराना है। इसकी तैयारी लगभग 2 महीने से चल रही। इसका संकल्प हमने, इसकी घोषणा अपने जन्म दिवस पर 4 जुलाई को कर दिया था। 4 जुलाई को इस यात्रा की घोषणा की थी कि जात पात भेदभाव को मिटाने के लिए।
आप कहने के लिए कह रहे हैं कि कंट्रोवर्सी ना हो, इसलिए कह रहे हैं?
ऑलरेडी इसके वीडियो हैं, विजुअल हैं।
आपने अपने जन्मदिन की बात कर ली, कोई कुछ बोलेगा भी नहीं, बाबा का जन्मदिन है, आपने उसका बहाना लेके कर दिया।
बिल्कुल भी नहीं, 4 जुलाई तो बहुत पहले थी। ये बयान तो अभी आए होंगे,
अभी आए।
हाँ, ये तो अभी आए,
महीना 1.5 में हुआ सब कुछ।
हाँ, 4 जुलाई तो हमारी बहुत पहले जन्मोत्सव था, तो जुलाई के दिन का वीडियो भी अभी यूट्यूब पर डला हुआ है।
इस यात्रा से कोई उसका संबंध नहीं।
बिल्कुल राजनीतिक हमारा कोई, हम धर्म गुरु हैं। हमें किसी भी सरकार सत्ता से ना पक्ष है ना विपक्ष है, सभी पार्टी के लोग हमारे हो। इस यात्रा में सबका स्वागत है।
आप बुलाने वाले हैं क्या इस यात्रा में?
आ जाएं तो बढ़िया है।
नहीं, अभी आपने कहा सबका स्वागत है।
सबका स्वागत है, अगर कोई यार आ रहा है तो स्वागत, बिल्कुल बेझिझक आएंगे, तो मना नहीं करेंगे, भगाएंगे नहीं, ये तय है।
क्या बात कर रहे हो? नहीं, आप हंसी में सब कुछ टाल जाते हैं, लेकिन क्या बात कर रहे हैं? अखिलेश आएगा तो भी ठीक है, बाबा आएंगे तो भी ठीक है, राहुल आएंगे तो भी ठीक है।
वो भी तो सनातनी हैं, वो भी तो भारत के हैं, वो भी तो जात पात छुआछूत को मिटवाने का भाव रखते ही होंगे, वो भी तो उस गांव के अंगड़ियों पिछड़ी लड़ाई को देखते और सुनते होंगे।
आपको लगता है सारे पार्टियां यही सोचती हैं?
कह नहीं सकते, हमने सबकी विचारधारा को बहुत बारीकी से नहीं देखा है।
तो खरा मत मानिएगा, आपको थोड़ा कुरेद रहा हूँ। तो जब आपने सबको नहीं पढ़ा तो आप सबको बुला रहे हैं, अगर हो सकता है उसकी कुछ और सोच हो
तो नया आए। अगर आपकी हमसे उल्टी सोच है, अगर आप देश को तोड़ने की बात कर रहे हैं, आप देश को जलाने की बात कर रहे हैं, अगर आप देश को मिटाने की बात कर रहे हैं, आप इस देश में जातियों का जहर भरना चाहते हैं, आप इस देश में जाति के नाम पर अपनी लुटिया को बढ़ाना चाहते हैं, अपनी रोटियों को सेंकना चाहते हैं, तो आप मत आइए। हमारा उद्देश्य कोई पॉलिटिकली नहीं है, हमारा उद्देश्य कोई राजनीतिक नहीं है, हमारा उद्देश्य और फंडा एकदम फिक्स है। हमें सनातनी हिंदुओं को एक करना है और कोई हमको किसी भी पार्टी से जोड़ सकता है, ये उसकी विचारधारा है, पर हम किसी भी पार्टी के लिए नहीं कर रहे, ना हमें पार्टीवाद से मतलब है, अपनी खुद की पार्टी है बजरंगबली की।
ये तो आपने बताया मुझे,
ऑलरेडी हमने आपको बताया,
सिंबल भी तैयार है,
सिंबल भी तैयार है, ऑलरेडी बहुत बढ़िया चल रही है,
ऑलरेडी बहुत वो तो मैं देख रहा हूँ, ऑलरेडी बहुत बढ़िया चल रही है पूरे देश में विदेश में। आजकल तो आप विदेश में भी यात्राएं कर रहे हैं।
हाँ, फिजी गए, ऑस्ट्रेलिया गए, ऑकलैंड न्यूजीलैंड गए,
लंदन भी आप गए।
लंदन में लगभग 2 से 3 बार गए, दुबई गए, जो हमको कहते थे कि हम मुसलमान विरोधी हैं, तो हम उस देश में भी जाके कथा करके।
कनाडा में गया?
नहीं, अभी नहीं,
जरूरत है,
जाना
लग रहा है,
जाना है।
लेकिन मैंने इसलिए बोला, शायद आपकी जानकारी में है या नहीं होगा, आपका तो वाईफाई बहुत हमेशा स्ट्रॉन्ग रहता है। कनाडा में जो सनातनियों के साथ हो रहा है, और पिछले 48 घंटे में मंदिर में घुस के खालिस्तानियों ने मंदिर में घुस के जो पूजा करने के लिए जो प्रार्थी के उनको पीटा है, लाठियों से पीटा है। सारे सनातनी इकट्ठे हुए कनाडा में,
वाह,
ब्रैम्पटन में इकट्ठे हुए, मेल्टन शहर में इकट्ठे हुए कि हमको पूजा करने दो। आपकी आवश्यकता, मुझे लग रहा है आपकी अगली यात्रा या अगली कथा आपकी
कनाडा में होनी चाहिए। हम बिल्कुल बनाएंगे, बेझिझक बनाएंगे, क्योंकि जहां जहां भी सनातनी हिंदुओं को कमजोर किया जा रहा, हम वहां पहुंचेंगे।
आपकी ये जो एकता का जो नारा है, आप सचमुच सबको एक करना चाहते हैं, सारे सनातनियों को एक करना चाहते हैं, जाति प्रथा मिटाना चाहते हैं।
बिल्कुल,
तो मैं आपसे पूछ रहा हूँ, मुझे अच्छा लगा कि आप थोड़ा रिलैक्स हो गए, 20-25 मिनट आपको तंग कर पाऊंगा। तो कास्ट सेंसस, जाति के ऊपर जो सेंसस है, उस पे आपकी क्या राय है? होना चाहिए, नहीं होना चाहिए?
सेंसस मींस?
सेंसस मींस सर्वे, राष्ट्रीय सर्वे जाति के ऊपर जो बताएगा।
नहीं, जनसंख्या की जनगणना हो।
हाँ, जनगणना अलग चीज है दादा। यहाँ पे जितने भी हमारे कैमरामैन हैं, आप हैं, मैं हैं, अगर सेंसस वाला आएगा तो हमको बताना पड़ेगा मेरा नाम क्या है, मेरी जाति क्या है, और फिर वो जाति है। क्योंकि कुछ राजनेता, आपने तो सबको बुला लिया, लेकिन उसमें से बहुत सारे, और मैं साफ कहूं तो विपक्ष, समूचा विपक्ष कह रहा है जिसकी जितनी संख्या बारी उसकी उतनी भागीदारी।
इससे देश जलेगा। आप इस विषय पे ही क्यों जाओ? आप एक समुदाय को ही बढ़ाने की बात क्यों करो? आप पूरे राष्ट्र को बढ़ाने की बात करो ना।
That's the point.
आप पूरे देश को आगे बढ़ाने की बात करो ना। आप देश के जितने गरीब लोग हैं उनकी आप जो है उनकी पहचान चिन्हित कराओ ना, उनको आप पहचान चिन्हित करा करके आगे बढ़ाने की बात करो ना। आप विकास के लिए उनको चुनो जो पिछड़े और बिछड़े हैं, ना कि जातियों से बिछड़े हैं, ना कि संख्या से बिखड़े हैं, ना कि अल्पसंख्यक पे बात करो। आप उन पे बात करो जो सबसे ज्यादा कमजोर है, चाहे वो किसी भी वर्ग का हो। हम कहते पादरी हो, इस्लाम हो, हिंदू हो, सनातनी हो, यहूदी हो, पारसी, जो भी हो। आप गरीब और अमीर 2 कैटर बनाओ, 2 रॉ बनाओ। एक रॉ में अमीर को रखो, एक रॉ में गरीब को रखो। अमीर के द्वारा पुष्ट करके गरीबों को संतुष्ट करो और पुष्ट करो, देश आगे बढ़ेगा, भारत विश्व गुरु बनेगा। इस पे समय खर्च करना, देश में दंगे खर्च कर देना, देश में जातिवाद के नाम पे जहर घोलना, अपनी रोटियां सेकने के चक्कर में उन लोगों के ब्रेन ब्रॉस करना, और संख्या जिसकी जितनी भागीदारी उसकी जितनी हिस्सेदारी, इससे देश जलेगा। सड़कों पे लोग आएंगे, मांगे करेंगे, आपके थानों को जलाएंगे, डीएम ऑफिस को जलाएंगे। छत्तीसगढ़ में एक घटना हुई कि सीधा एसपी ऑफिस को शायद या डीएम ऑफिस को जला दिया। ये दुर्भाग्य है देश का। देश को अगर जलाना है तो आप जातियों में बांटो, देश को अगर बचाना है तो हम सनातनी हैं, हम हिंदू हैं, एक हैं। इस बात पर आपको हर हाल में आना ही पड़ेगा। इसीलिए आज से हमने ठीक 3 महीने पहले, जुलाई में हमारी 1 साल पहले घोषणा थी कि हम पदयात्रा करें। 4 जुलाई को हमने प्रण लिया था कि अब हम पदयात्रा करके लोगों को जोड़ने का काम करें,
और इसीलिए आप ये यात्रा निकाल,
इसीलिए हम कर रहे हैं।
सचमुच आपको लगता है ना कि जातियों से फायदा नहीं होता, भारत बढ़ता है
बेझिझक?
तो ये राजनेताओं को समझ क्यों नहीं आता? अब इनकी पर्चियां क्यों नहीं खोल देते?
अब राजनेता अगर हमसे ज्ञान लेंगे तो हम बिल्कुल खोलेंगे। हमारी सुनता कौन है आपके अलावा?
ऐसा मत बोलिए कम से कम मैं तो सुनता हूं आपकी। लेकिन ये आपने बहुत ठीक कहा कि मतलब अगर जातियों का बोलबाला, जैसे ये कहते हैं कि जिसकी जितनी भागीदारी
उसकी इतनी हिस्सेदारी,
उसकी उतनी हिस्सेदारी, उससे देश जलेगा
बेझिझक। आप विकसित राष्ट्रों को देखो ना
जी, डेवलप कंट्रीज
जितनी है आप उनको देखो। उन्होंने जो डेवलपमेंट किया है वो किसी एक जाति के बल पे नहीं किया ना, ये एक देश
राष्ट्र के बल
पर की,
देश के बल पे,
एक बल पे, एक सबकी सोच रखी, एक विचारधारा रखी, सब आगे बढ़ गए। इस देश में जब गुलामी थी तो अंग्रेजों को भगाना किसी एक जाति ने नहीं भगाया ना, सबने भगाया।
हिंदू मुसलमान सिख ईसाई
सब लड़े, सबके पूर्वज मरे। तो हमें इस पे बात करनी पड़ेगी ना, हमें इस पे चलना पड़ेगा। तो अगर हमको अपने देश को जलाना है तो आप जाति जनगणना कर लीजिए, अगर देश को बचाना है तो जो हमने सनातन हिंदू एकता पद यात्रा को निकाला है, इसमें अपनी जाति भाव के गुमान को भूलकर आपको सरनेम नहीं हटाना है, सरनेम के आगे एक काम करना है, सनातनी हो तो सनातनी जोड़ना है, बस खेल खत्म।
वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट। यही बात मैंने साल 1.5 साल पहले आपके लिए उन्होंने कई अच्छी टिप्पणियां भी दी हैं, स्वामी दीपांकर से भी सुनी थी, वो भी एक यात्रा निकाल,
अच्छा,
सबको जोड़ने के लिए हिंदुओं की। उन्होंने भी मुझे बताया था कि साल 1.5 साल पहले कि हिंदुओं को जोड़ने की जरूरत है, लेकिन जब आपने बोला ना जातियों से
ऊपर उठना है,
इसमें आप सबको, क्योंकि आपके लाखों नहीं करोड़ों फॉलोअर्स हैं, आप अगर आज एक टिप्पणी करते हैं तो ऑस्ट्रेलिया से लेके नॉर्थ अमेरिका तक और साउथ अमेरिका के कुछ देशों से लेके अफ्रीका तक जितने भी सनातनी जहां भी हैं खड़े होते हैं
बेझिझक, ये उनका प्रेम है।
और आप जब बोलेंगे कि जातियों में बंटना नहीं है, एक साथ आना, उसका असर होगा।
कोशिश हमारी यही है, वो उनका प्रेम है, उत्साह है। भगवान ऐसी कृपा करें, हमारी बुद्धि ऐसी रखे कि हम उनके भरोसे को कभी तोड़े ना।
जब बात अंतर्राष्ट्रीय हो रही है, मैं वापस देश में आऊँ, उससे पहले पड़ोसी देश से होते हुए वापस आता हूँ, बांग्लादेश।
मत पूछो दादा,
हिंदुओं के साथ इतना हुआ, आपने टिप्पणी दी, कई और कथावाचक जो जिनके लाखों फॉलोअर्स हैं उन्होंने दी, लेकिन एक राजनीतिक दल, आपने बड़ा दल दिखा के सबको इनवाइट तो कर लिया, सबको आपने आमंत्रित तो कर लिया, लेकिन कई नेता बड़े ऐसे जो क्या क्या बनना चाहते हैं, लेकिन एक टिप्पणी नहीं की गई, क्योंकि एक खास विशेष वर्ग को, मैं नाम लेता हूँ, मुसलमानों को, उन्हें लगा कि भारत के मुसलमान, हालांकि मेरा मानना है कि भारत का मुसलमान भारतीय पहले है, उसको बिल्कुल खराब नहीं लगता, लेकिन ये नेता जानबूझ के बांग्लादेश में ऐसी हालत, हिंदुओं को मारा जा रहा, दुर्गा पूजा नहीं मनाने दी दादा, दिवाली नहीं मनाने दी, और ये भारत के नेता कुछ बोलते नहीं है उस पर, विपक्ष।
हमें लगता है कि इस देश में कुछ लोगों के अंदर राष्ट्रवाद की बहुत कमी है, राष्ट्रवाद की बहुत कमी। आपकी नज़र में जब तक सत्ता महत्वपूर्ण रहेगी, गद्दी हथियाना और पाना के प्रकार महत्वपूर्ण रहेगा, तब तक आप वही बोलेंगे जो आपके वोटरों को लुभा सके।
Getting in some more breaking news, anti-terror operations which are basically underway in North Kashmir's Sopore. Heavy exchange of fire that has been reported between terrorists and security forces. This is coming in from the upper reaches of Rampura, Rajpura area of North Kashmir's Sopore. In fact, the operation is now being carried out by 22 Rashtriya Rifles and Jammu and Kashmir Police. The latest details are also coming in that the army has been able to neutralize one terrorist in Sopore. Republic TV has also accessed latest images from the area where the encounter was underway. One terrorist has been gunned down is what we are picking up from our sources within Jammu and Kashmir Police. This started around a little before 8 o'clock this evening, and exchange of fire was reported between the terrorist and security forces, and this was reported from upper reaches of Rampura, Rajpura area. That's the latest now coming in. And let's also take you through the latest details now coming in from the operation that is basically underway. In fact, what we are picking up is that the operation is still underway. Let me bring in my colleague Arawat, who's joining us on this broadcast. Arawat, what more details are you picking up? The operation started a little after 8 in the evening. What's the latest coming in?
Absolutely, Shravan. In fact, more operations have been also launched in the various areas in the North Kashmir, particularly in the Bandipora or outskirts of the Sopore. And we have been told that there is possibility that more terrorists may be hiding in the deep dense forest in the Rajpura, in the Rampura sector in the North Kashmir. Sopore, so far, 1 terrorist have been neutralized in this operation. The huge kg of arms ammunition have been recovered. This is the second gunfight in the North Kashmir in last 24 hours in the North Kashmir Sopore. Earlier, we have seen these type of gunfights taking place in the North Kashmir, Kupwara and Bandipora, where we have seen that the 2 firearm terrorists were neutralized in the joint operation, and more operations are also underway in the parts of the Sopore and the Bandipora area. Particularly, we have seen recently that the target killings were taking place in the North to Central Kashmir, but this time after, we have seen that the intelligence agency sounded alert that there is possibility that some terrorists from the line of control and other areas are trying to infiltrate this side. After that, we have seen that the high alert was sounded from line of control areas to other cities and forest areas in the Kashmir Valley, and the combing operation is going on in the Rajpura, where 1 terrorist have been neutralized and a huge kg of arms ammunition have been recovered. So far, further, the coordinated search operation have been extended to other forest areas in the North Kashmir, Sopore, Shravan.
Also, more details coming in after reports of fresh infiltration in the area. Kashmir IGP confirming a short while back that there have reports that have come in of infiltration that has taken place in that area. What more details are you picking up?
The intelligence agency has already told that there are numerous of the terrorists who are active in the various launching pads in the Pakistan-occupied Kashmir, and they are desperately trying to infiltrate this side before the winters. And IGP and other officers have also confirmed yesterday that infiltration have taken place in the North Kashmir, Gurez and the Bandipora sector. After that, these operations were intensified, and this is the big win for the security forces after the back-to-back terror incidents in the Kashmir Valley. 1 terrorist have been gunned down by the joint security forces in North Kashmir, Sopore.
Rawat, I'll request you to stay on as my colleague Zeenat is also joining us on this broadcast. Zeenat, what more details are you picking up as the operation started a little after 8 o'clock this evening? I'm given to understand that multiple anti-terror operations have been carried out in the last few days. Give us a consolidated report of all that we know so far.
See, Sean, we need to understand that after the terror incidents gone up in the Kashmir Valley for the last 3 weeks, we've been seeing the joint forces have been quite active, and the intelligence cadres have been more activated on the ground to get the leads. As far as today's encounter is concerned, this is an army-based operation where 1 terrorist have been neutralized. Though he was injured a while back, but he has been neutralized. The pictures that we show on the screen and the videos that we display, this is an identity of a terrorist that we are displaying, and also the kind of recoveries that have come to the joint security forces in the Sopore. We see this in Sopore just a day before. There were 2 terrorists that were neutralized. That tells you how the intelligence grid is working. Then LG has already chaired a meeting, and we have been seeing the kind of instructions that have gone to DG J&K police, and apart from that, ADG J&K Law and Order Vijay Kumar himself has been monitoring the situation on ground, because he's the he's the law and order chief. So any collateral damage is a difficulty for the police. But in all these operations, we have been seeing whatever has been launched, whether in Khaniar, Anantnag, or the 2 operations that have come from the Sopore in the last 2 decades, not a single collateral damage has come. This is a success that tells you about the story of Kashmir. We've been seeing the kind of investment that Pakistan has made in all these 3 decades. They don't want that investment to go. But again, Srinagar police is cracking the case in less than 5 days, where the ISJK module was busted by arresting the 3 of the locals boys who were involved in the grenade incident in which the 12 civilians received injuries. So the very clear directions coming from the Home Minister Amit Shah, who has been monitoring the situation on ground as far as the Kashmir is concerned. We have been seeing the situation turning a bit better, because the kind of body blow that has been coming to the terror outfits in all these days, that tells you that whatever they tried to do, joint forces were able to rebut and also to avenge the killings that were carried by these terrorists. Overall, this is a success for the forces, where you see that not a collateral damage is taking place, and the way civilians were evacuated till late night. The Sopore police is working very hard as far as the terrorist movement is concerned. And the bigger success for the forces in these days is that now they are able to neutralize the Pakistan terrorists apart from the local ones. That also tells the story of the locals, that the joining rate has come down, the recruitment level has come down. This is a success to the joint forces, particularly to the J&K police, who have been working day and night to see that the local terrorists, the local boys should not join the terror ranks. So this is a success, and we see that in the coming time, there will be more terror operations. And also, apart from the terror operations, we have been seeing the way OGW network is being busted. Many of them have been arrested, be it from the Pulwama or from the other places.
Zeerath, with regards to the operations that were carried out in the last few hours, what more details are you picking up? Because it appears that this is largely to do with multiple infiltration attempts that have been made in the last few weeks.
See, as far as the infiltrations are concerned, we have been seeing the grid has gone down from the Jammu sector, for which the army has to definitely work very hard to pull their socks so that the forces don't have to face the situation the way the situation has gone up in the Jammu. As far as the Kashmir Valley is concerned, we are seeing that whenever a terrorist tries to do any movement, he is being neutralized, or the OGW network that provides an oxygen to this terror links is being taken out. As far as infiltration, we are seeing the situation being monitored even by the army chief himself. He is taking care of the situation. Then we are seeing the GOC 15 Corps Prashant Srivastava himself moving from one place to another and also upgrading the grid so that such kind of incidents should not take place, or it should not hurt the civilians or the tourism movement, or the peace that has been established after abrogation of 370 should not be disturbed.
Well, thank you very much, Zeerath and Rawat, for getting us the latest details. This is a developing situation in Sopore as the anti-terror operation still continues. What we can confirm is that one terrorist has now been gunned down.
One of its best-known spokespersons, and now as the Union Finance Minister, steering the country through the most difficult and the most unprecedented of times, and the grace with which she has led the country's economy at a time when all the doomsday prophets said no, it couldn't be done.
Director, the taste of success.
Namaste from India. Mr. President, India expresses its deep appreciation for the presentation of the Human Rights Council's report. We welcome OHCHR's close interaction with the member states and the stakeholders undertaken during the past year, as highlighted in the report, and its efforts to bring the conversation of human rights to the center stage. We also take note of the conclusions arrived at in the report. India's approach to human rights is rooted in a millennia-old tradition of upholding diversity and plurality of views. India has always looked at human rights as something that is indivisible and fundamental. Our commitment to human rights stems from our freedom struggle led by Mahatma Gandhi, which emphasized non-violence and equality. This legacy is embodied in our Constitution, which enshrines fundamental rights and establishes the principles of justice, liberty, equality, and fraternity. India's domestic framework for human rights protection continues to evolve and strengthen.
What's your message to everyone who use, controversies to say our institutional mechanism is not strong enough?
Where our institutions need to be given credit, we put that aside and only pick that one thing about that institution and say, look at this, our institutions are really now being threatened. But what about the other things which make our institutions stand out? Every one of our institutions are really doing their maximum best, world-class best. Today, our benchmarks are being looked at rather than the benchmark elsewhere.
Someone who I have had the pleasure of knowing for almost, if I may say so, over a decade and a half professionally in various roles, and I have seen the way in which Nirmala Sitharaman has come out as a shining star in our political life. She would be feisty and have the greatest amount of personal research on any subject, which is true even today, and she had every fact on her fingertips.
Thank you for joining us on The Burning Question. I'm Niranjan. Open calls for Muslims to vote en masse in Maharashtra. That's our focus as the Ulema openly backs the Mahavikas Aghadi. I'm Niranjan. Here are the headlines at 9 p.m. Ulema mobilizes votes for Indi bloc ahead of the Maharashtra elections. MVA, the Mahavikas Aghadi, agreeing to the pro-minority demands. BJP calls it appeasement, vote bank politics. 17 conditions given by the Ulema to the Mahavikas Aghadi, says agree to the demand, take the Muslim support.
अपना इख्तियार है वोट देने का नहीं देने का, उनका इख्तियार है। हमारा काम, हम जहां हमारे कैंडिडेट है वहां पर अपना प्रचार करें।
Owaisi and AIMIM backing Ulema's support to the Mahavikas Aghadi, asking why hatred against one community.
किसी को कमजोर करके सरकार बना लेगी, यही उसकी चाल है। आपको याद रखना है, एक है तो से है।
Taking the call for Hindu unity further in Maharashtra campaign, Prime Minister Modi says ek hai
तो सेफ है।
एक एक बांग्लादेशी को झारखंड की धरती से निकालेंगे।
BJP taking a strong stand in Jharkhand, saying all Bangladeshis will be sent back.
क्या लग रहा है झारखंड में इस बार परिवर्तन तय है?
पूर्ण बहुमत के साथ यहाँ भारतीय जनता पार्टी की सरकार एक बार फिर से बनने जा रही है।
Union Home Minister Amit Shah leading the BJP's Jharkhand campaign in Jamshedpur, saying the mandate of the people will give a befitting response to the Indie bloc nationally. In 2023, ladies and gentlemen, there was an election held in Karnataka where Congress leaders themselves admitted, saying that mosques were involved and played a big part in the Congress party coming to power and defeating the BJP in Karnataka. Now in Maharashtra, just 10 days away from voting, and the Mahavikas Aghadi is going all out to gather votes, specifically the Muslim, the minority votes. They're trying to appease a community, and they've even agreed to the Ulema board demands, a conditional support offer which was given by the Ulema to the Mahavikas Aghadi. And we also have a letter from the Sharad Pawar faction of the NCP claiming that they've accepted all the demands. We'll tell you what those demands are. Take a look.
Hot on the heels of Maharashtra Assembly polls, All India Ulema Board sent a letter offering support to the MVA, but with 17 specific demands. Among the Ulema Board's demands are a 10% quota for Muslims in education, cancellation of the Waqf Bill amendments, and rupees 1,000 crore for the Waqf Board. Another big demand that the board has proposed is sending Hindu saint Ramagiri Maharaj and BJP MLA Nitish Rane behind the bars. Other conditions include banning of RSS, recruitment of educated Muslims in police force, appointment of 500 employees in Maharashtra Waqf Board, and actions against those who speak against Prophet Muhammad. Meanwhile, speaking to Republic, Maulvi Usman Sheikh, president of the Ulema Board, confirmed that the discussions have in fact taken place with MVA leaders like Sharad Pawar and Nana Patole.
जिनसे हमारी बात हुई है, शरद पवार जी, नाना पटोले जी, उदय ठाकरे जी, इन्होंने कहा जो संविधान के दायरे में रहेगा वो आपका मंजूर करेंगे।
तो आपसे किससे मुलाकात हुई थी?
हमारी शरद पवार जी से मुलाकात हुई, जयंत पटेल से हुई, उदय ठाकरे जी से हुई, तुम्हारे नाना पटोले जी से हुई। ये अभी तो सिर्फ हमने उनसे मांगनी की है, कोई मांगनी हमारी मंजूर अभी नहीं होंगी। जब सरकार बनेगी महाविकास आघाड़ी, जब की बात है ना ये।
The Ulema Board's backing has sparked criticism from BJP leaders who claim that the MVA is appeasing radical elements. The BJP is calling it an appeasement bid.
Rahul Gandhi, the BJP would like to know, because any reservation on religious ground is totally prohibited. The Constitution does not permit. The Supreme Court judgment also prohibits that. How does your president of Maharashtra Congress tell the Jamaat-e-Ulema will consider it?
Is the MVA turning into a party that's dependent solely on Muslim votes to maintain power?
Okay, let's go across to our panelists on the burning question this evening. RP Singh, BJP national spokesperson, joining us on the show. I have Karan Verma, political analyst. Sadhvi Jayabharathi, spiritual guru. Shantanu Gupta, author. And backing the Ulema support to the MVA, we have Tausif Khan, who leans towards the Trinamool Congress, will be joining us. I don't see him on the screen. Abid Mir Magami, a Congress spokesperson, live from Srinagar. Atikur Rahman, live from Mumbai. And Chandrasekhar Jha will be joining us soon. Chandrasekhar Jha is from the Uddhav Sena.
and he will be joining us. I wanted to ask him the first question, but he hasn't joined us yet. Let me go close to Atikur Rahman. Atikur Rahman, is it secular? Is it secular, right, to ask Muslims to vote for Mahavikas Aghadi, but communal when there is a Hindu unity call given by the BJP?
Both are communal, Niranjan, and let me call a spade a spade. I urge all the ulemas and all the Muslims, do not put any demands before the MBA. The only priority for Muslims in Maharashtra should be, and this is my personal opinion, without any conditions, we will be supporting the India alliance. We will be supporting the son of Hindu Hriday Samrat, Shri Bala Saheb Thackeray, Janab Uddhavji Thackeray. The reason behind Niranjan is...
I'm asking you a question. Do you support ulemas backing the Mahavikas Aghadi in Maharashtra? Straight question.
The ulemas, to me, are not political people. They do not understand the nitty-gritty of politics. I, as a researcher on political science and Islamic studies, I would say without any conditions, we will be supporting the India Alliance and Uddhavji Thackeray to defeat the BJP. Now you may ask the question, why I want a defeat of the BJP in Maharashtra?
No, 1 minute. I'm getting in some breaking news right now, and this is getting very interesting. Let me break the story right now. I'm just getting in a story from our news desk of the NCP, Sharad Pawar faction, going into complete stun mode. They're on complete back foot. They're stunned how this letter leaked out. Mahavikas Aghadi is on the back foot. Sharad Pawar faction saying that we are not sure how this letter got leaked. We are not sure. We don't know how the letter got leaked. They're not denying the letter. They're not saying that no, we had accepted the demands of the ulema. But they are saying we have to see how the letter got leaked out, which means the Sharad Pawar faction has just admitted to that letter. Jayant Patil speaking. I want to play that letter out. Sorry, the soundbite now.
आपका सामना करने का दोस्तों में बड़ा गठबंधन है जो पत्र कभी नहीं गया था ये पत्र उसका फर्जी पत्र बना के तस्वीर वायरल की जा रही है आपकी और किशोर को।
हाँ, ये गलत है। हम इसके बारे में देख रहे हैं कि कैसे ये आ गया बाहर। ये हमने दिया है कि नहीं मुझे पता नहीं, हम देखेंगे। देखते हैं हम क्या किस लिए हम मेरे ऑफिस में मैंने बोला है कि ये कब किसने किया किसी को मालूम नहीं, ये कैसे आ गया।
And you know what, Shantanu, I feel the next time these guys in the indie block say that this is communal, that is communal, and they are secular, you should really show them the mirror. Because this is an open, ulemas are saying we will ask Muslims to vote. Ulemas are saying we will ask Muslims to vote for the Mahavikas Aghadi. It's a religious vote call. Asking for Muslims to vote for the Congress party, asking Muslims to vote for the Sharad Pawar faction, asking Muslims to vote for Uddhav Balasaheb Thackeray faction of the Shiv Sena. The next time these guys say the Hindu unity call is communal, you need to give it back to them.
See, I think I'm not surprised. This is the way Congress operated. They always bargained for the Muslim vote based on some special privilege. Muslim community asked, we got Pakistan, but I want to usurp land in India also. Okay, I'll give you Waqf vote. Okay, I want to take a lot of temples. Okay, I'll give you places of worship act. Oh, I don't want to give alimony to Shahbano. Okay, I will enact a new law for you. Oh, I need Muslim reservation, right? It's not working for me. Oh, Muslim reservation is a little difficult from the courts. Okay, I'll give you minority commission. I'll give you Sachar committee, right? So this, but okay, in the turn, I'll get you Muslim vote. So this bargain of Congress, Samajwadi Party, TMC for Muslim vote is like not surprising for me. And then these ulemas will get something here and there, Hajj subsidy, this. So this is happening. This is unfortunate that Muslim community is not and in the process a normal Muslim on the road, Muslim in the street house, he's not getting anything. It's only the ulemas and the Maulvis and the Madani here and a Wasi there who are getting benefit. A Pasmanda Muslim or any Muslim is not getting benefit. So Muslim community has kind of given the adhikar of their votes to the ulemas, and they're bartering it for some favor through Waqf Act, through Places of Worship Act, through Muslim reservations, through Minority Commission, through Sachar Committee, through multiple things, right? With Congress and multiple offshoots of Congress. So I'm not surprised. This will keep happening.
Yeah, and I'm going to read out some of the demands of the ulema. It's a clear quid pro quo. You should give it up. You should give it to the MVA. It's a clear quid pro quo, right? And I'm getting all the panelists on the screen. I will read out some of the conditions. See, ulema support में RPG conditions apply है. मैं बोलता हूँ conditions क्या है आप सुन लीजिए क्योंकि many people may not know the conditions. RP Singh ji, many people don't know the conditions. I want to read it out. Can I read out the conditions to our viewers?
Give me a second.
I haven't asked my question.
Please give me a second.
Okay.
Just condition number 5, and that is all. Condition number 5. Please read that. That's most important. And that's disaster for India, any political system, which demands that release all the people who have been involved in riots since 2012. It says it demand release of Muslim jailed on charges of spreading riots from 2012 to 2024. But what my friend just now was saying, it is further to what Communal Violence Bill was, that the responsibility of, it was under the pressure of Muslims, that under the pressure of ulemas, that anyone commit riot, ultimately the responsibility will be on the majority community, not on the minority community. Now they are saying, we have committed riot, good enough, but you should release us without any condition. And same thing happened in Karnataka. They released people who committed riots. And then all those who were genuinely demanding, the students who were part of the demand, who were part of the agitation, not rioting, they are still in the jail.
I want to get in Tausif here. Is Tausif with us? I want to bring Tausif on the screen. Tausif, look at the kind of demands that have been placed, right? I'm reading out some of the demands so that our viewers know what the demands are. The Ulema board, ladies and gentlemen, the Ulema board in Maharashtra, it's actually the All India Ulema board, has promised to support the MVA or the Mahavikas Aghadi, comprising 3 principal opposition parties in Maharashtra right now, for open Muslim support. They are saying we'll mobilize Muslim votes for you. At least, one thing you have to admit, Tausif, that in Karnataka they had to lie. Even today they lie in public saying that, we did not, openly mobilize the Muslim vote, the Congress party. But there was a tape of a minister saying, I went to, in Rajasthan, he says, every mosque in every constituency, we sat with the Maulvis in every mosque. And we made sure that the votes came to us. And that is why they say Congress ne kamal kar diya Karnataka mein. So in Maharashtra, at least they're not taking that route. They're openly saying, okay, you know what, you have 17 demands, put those demands, and we will make sure that you get the Muslim vote. It's good. But you know what? You should never then criticize Yogi Adityanath. You should never criticize the RSS chief. You should never criticize the Prime Minister when they say, batenge to katenge. Ek hai to safe hai, the Prime Minister said today. So what's wrong? If they are asking the Hindu community to be united, what's wrong? Because Mahavikas Aghadi is doing exactly that.
Long before the current Maharashtra Assembly elections, preparations are going on. BJP and RSS and other Sanghi organizations, they were going around meeting people, asking what their demands were. And I'm so glad that while the RSS and other organizations demanded that the mosque be demolished and temple be built, the ulemas have, on the other hand, neither raised any demand for building any mosque or demolishing any temple. We should find solace in that, and we should be very thankful that whatever they are demanding is very legitimate, as against such an illegitimate demand that was raised by the RSS.
I'm aghast with this kind of a response at the moment.
And they keep
the
doing
question
that
he has
even
simply
now.
sidelined, and he has gone a step ahead, justifying that it is okay for the Muslims to be united in
one minute.
It is fine to be
One minute. Tausif, be careful. Tausif, be a little careful. Tausif, can I say something?
Do not heckle me. Tausif,
It's not
Tausif,
heckling,
1 minute.
sir, but
Sadhvi ji,
you
1 minute.
cannot
Sadhvi ji,
go
1
on
minute.
talking
Sadhvi ji,
like
1 minute.
I know you are
Sadhvi ji,
very
1 minute.
close to Prime Minister.
Sadhvi ji, 1 minute. Sadhvi ji, I'm requesting you,
Madam
please,
is
1
very
minute.
close to Prime Minister,
Tausif,
and she
Tausif,
has all the power
Tausif, 1 minute. Tausif, 1 minute.
unleash hell
Tausif,
on
1 minute. Sadhvi ji is silent. You hear me 1 second. I'm giving you 30 more seconds, but you hear me first. I'm giving you 30 seconds. Hear me first. First of all, you're on I have a poor signal of you. So you have to, speak slowly, clearly. Secondly, when she says something, you respond to her. Don't talk about the channel. Okay? I'm being very respectful to you. Stick to your subject. Stick to your question. I've asked you a question. Don't talk about the channel or the network. Talk about the issue at hand. Continue. I'm giving you 30 seconds.
So first of all, my if you hear my comment is against Madam only. I said that Madam thinks that she owns the channel and she can intervene.
No, that's not what you said, but continue.
That's what exactly I said. And I said that Madam thinks she is very close to BJP and she has the right to speak over anyone. Secondly, I am saying on this issue, Ulema is making demand which are very legitimate. And it is a process of before any election is committed. It is the process that political parties, they reach out to people, they reach out to organizations, and they find out what their demands are. If possible, they will include them in their agenda. They will declare that, yes, these are the demands I will fulfill. Please vote for me. This is a very normal process. And
normal
we've been
process.
seeing this
Great.
happening.
Great.
Ram
Okay.
Mandir is an example.
1 minute, 1 minute. I've given you time. I want to get a response. I'll come back. Tausif, you've given your opening comment. I'd like to get in one more view and then we'll take it forward.
And they have done that.
Tausif, 1 minute. I want to get the response. Sadhvi Jaya Bharti wanted to respond. 1 minute. I'm coming to you. Karan, I'm coming to you. I'm coming to you. Sadhvi Jaya Bharti, I still want to, because I haven't had the opportunity to tell what some of the demands are. The demand of the Ulema has been to oppose the Waqf bill and seek its repeal, which we know Congress loves the Waqf bill. We are seeing what's happening in Karnataka and across the country. Second, Ulema board has requested Maharashtra government to allocate 1,000 crore to the Maharashtra Waqf board. Third biggest landowners want 1,000 crore more. Point number 3, Ulema board wants to remove encroachments from Waqf properties, which is another way of saying whatever we claim, give it to us. Point number 4, Ulema board wants 10% reservation for Muslims in Maharashtra. 10% reservation for Muslims in Maharashtra, which has also reached the Supreme Court. I'm not getting into the order. They want a ban on the RSS. They want RSS banned after the MVA government is formed. Point number 6, they want BJP leader Nitesh Rane and Ramgiri Maharaj to be arrested. And they want the release of Salman Azhari, which is secular according to Tausif. And they want to implement a law against anyone who speaks against Muhammad Prophet, which is wrong. You should never do that. But they want a law. The board also wants the state to pay 15,000 rupees per month to Maulana and Imams of the masjids operating in the state. I've only read half of it, but I found the part about the reservation for Muslims interesting, demand for arrest interesting. I found the Waqf 1,000 crore extra allocation for Waqf interesting, right? And removal of encroachments for Waqf also interesting. Sadhvi Jaya Bharti, I don't think there's anything wrong when, and you know what, I also have a letter, by the way. I have the letter here, where the Sharad Pawar faction has sealed a letter and said thank you to the ulemas, saying we are grateful and we accept all the demands. I have a letter of acknowledgement. Sadhvi Jaya Bharti.
Yeah, so I have 3 things to respond to. One, the gentleman speaking before me, you asked him a question whether it was right for, polarizing the Muslim votes in such a way. He didn't respond to it, but in fact, he had gone ahead and called the communal demands a normal process of the electoral system. I'm really shocked and aghast by this kind of mindset that naturalizes and normalizes the communal extremism in the election. One. Second, the list of the demands that you had just read out And it is absolutely contrary to the Muslim scholar on the panel right now, who says that ulemas are very innocent, they are very unaware, they know nothing. They've given their very innocent demands to the Mahavikas Aghadi. And look at what they are asking. They are asking for bans, they are asking for reservations, they are asking for everything that is unconstitutional, and yet they are innocent. How one extremism is called very innocent, while unity of the other community is called as communal. Another thing, what I find here is that Congress is a party of hypocrisy, and Mahavikas Aghadi is now a collision of higher hypocrisy. They go out and they speak that we talk only about Indians, we don't talk about Jativad, we don't talk about people on religious and communal lines. It's only the BJP who does the communal and Jati Pati. Who's doing what they are acknowledging the letter in written and saying that we are. Where is that, that uniformity, that inclusivity and that secularism that you talk about so proudly? Yeah. This is pure hypocrisy.
Hypocrisy.
And yes, and everything that I have just mentioned and what I'm witnessing on this list of demands and this acknowledgement, that this very much clarifies why Yogi Adityanath called for Hindu
There's
unity.
Absolutely nothing wrong.
Why it is needed. This is the very reason, and he simply called for unity, and they are coming with extremist demands, and they are calling it a normal process. The innocent demands. What are we talking about?
Yeah, I'm going to get. I'll tell you something. I want to bring in Abid Mir Magami, right? Abid, imagine a situation. I'm just saying a hypothetical situation. It hasn't happened. Imagine a situation where for example, Sri Ram Janmabhoomi Tirth Kshetra, right? Or any other Hindu groups, if they come together and they say, we will support BJP, everybody in India should support BJP, everybody should vote for them, we have given 10 demands, they've agreed to the demands. International headline number 1. It would have been international headline number 1. Right? How are you guys doing this? Openly asking for Muslim vote, agreeing to all these demands. MVA, you're part of the MVA. Your party is part of the MVA in Maharashtra.
And then Rahul Gandhi is going to go to America and speak about India being divisive. Look.
I want him to respond. Abid.
बटेंगे तो कटेंगे, इसको हिपोक्रेसी कहते हैं. अभी मैडम जी बोल रही थी हिपोक्रेसी, बटेंगे तो कटेंगे, इसी को हिपोक्रेसी कहते हैं. रही बात बीजेपी की, सबसे ज्यादा जो एक्सप्लॉइट रिलीजन को करती है वो बीजेपी.
करोड़ रुपया हमें दे दो, ये इनोसेंट डिमांड है ना. 1000 करोड़ हमें दे दो, इसको बैन कर दो, जो वहां पर जो दंगे फसाद कर रहे थे उनको छोड़ दो, ये इनोसेंट है. और अगर हम कह दें कि आप एकजुट रहो नहीं तो कर जाओगे, ये hypocrisy.
No, 1 minute. I don't. One second. One second. I'll tell you. I'll know what I'm sticking my neck out. Abid. 1 minute. Abid. आपको नहीं. मैं आपको पूछ रहा हूँ. Abid, आपको पूछ रहा हूँ. मैं एक प्रश्न पूछ रहा हूँ. See, Owaisi has said there's nothing wrong. You're trying to demonize one community. I'll tell you one thing. I have covered Owaisi. I've been to meetings where Owaisi has spoken. I've covered a few Congress leaders, Muslim Congress leaders, specifically Muslim Congress leaders, minority leaders in different parts of the country. Everywhere when they meet in closed rooms, and I've been able to listen to some of them, you know what they say? The first thing they say, we have to stay united as a community. हमें एकजुट रहना पड़ेगा. There's a danger. We are under threat. There's a threat. So what is 1 minute? So 1 minute. They can say that. I don't know. 1 minute. So Sadhvi Jayabharti, 1 minute. Sadhvi Jayabharti talking about hypocrisy. I want to ask you 1 minute. Sadhvi Jayabharti. No, if they can say it under 1 minute. If they can say it openly and in closed doors, what is wrong in Yogi Adityanath or the Prime Minister saying Hindus must stay united? What is wrong?
Every community has the right to say it.
You have the right to say it. Okay, Abid.
ठीक है. सब पूरी कम्युनिटी को हक है बोलने का. आप ही कह रहे हो, तो इसमें क्या गलत है फिर? जब आप ही कह रहे हो सभी कम्युनिटी को हक है बोलने का, तो इसमें क्या प्रॉब्लम है?
अरे बाबा, you can't ask. I don't know, Abed, it is, I don't know whether you know, but it is, you cannot ask for votes on religious grounds.
Religious grounds.
You cannot do that. Okay?
Unity and asking votes on religious ground is different, gentlemen. And I just suggest you do some study before you come over and speak.
सिर्फ और सिर्फ रिलीजन पे ही वोट मांगती है, क्योंकि बीजेपी जानती है डेवलपमेंट उनका जीरो है। अगर वो हिंदू मुस्लिम नहीं करेंगे वो सरकार में नहीं आएंगे।
अच्छा, तो अभी हिंदू मुस्लिम किसने किया? अभी बीजेपी ने किया कि अभी आपने ये महाविकास आघाड़ी कर रही है? जब आप हिंदू मुस्लिम करो तो सेक्युलर है, बीजेपी हिंदू मुस्लिम करे तो कम्युनल है, कम्युनल है भाई, सही है।
जब यही बीजेपी जम्मू कश्मीर में आती है,
हमारा कुत्ता कुत्ता, आपका कुत्ता टॉमी,
तो जब
क्या बात है भाई?
आती है तो मुंह पे ताले लग जाते हैं।
क्या ताले लग गए? आप पढ़ के तो आइए, क्या बोल रहे हैं? आपके पास अपना ही कंटेक्स्ट नहीं है। You're talking out of context. What are you speaking? Study something before you come and open your mouth here.
I will, okay, 1 minute. I want to bring in Karan. Karan hasn't spoken. 1 minute. I want to bring in Karan. Right? Karan hasn't spoken. 1 minute. Karan. I don't think, you know, we're all normalizing it here on the debate. We're all normalizing. BJP has normalized it. I'm saying even the Mahavikas Aghadi has taken it to another level, right? They've legitimized it. But I want to tell all of you who are either from political parties or let's have all our panelists on screen, because I want to read out something for all of you. Okay? The Election Commission, according to an Election Commission advisory, I'm reading it out so all of you know, candidates, parties, star campaigners will be dealt with stern action if there is violation of model code of conduct, right? Temples, mosques, churches, gurudwaras, any other place of worship should not be used for poll propaganda or electioneering. Parties and their leaders should refrain from seeking votes on the basis of caste, religion and language, and not insult devotee-deity relation or make suggestions of divine censure. Now, this is all part of the Election Commission. After the debate, you can go and read up from the Election Commission website. It's wrong. It's illegal. But don't try and normalize it like this, Karan.
So first of all, those who have sought unity from here till Nasrallah, till Jai Philistine, and shed copious tears for what's happened in Hamas, and Priyanka Vadra has gone on to tweet about them. She doesn't cry for Bangladeshi Hindus, but she's made sure that she tweeted about what's happening in Hamas for the sake of Ummah. Today they have a problem with ek rahenge to safe rahenge. Can you imagine the hypocrisy? So this is their hypocrisy. The Samajwadi Party, Mona Alam, she makes a call for vote jihad, by the way. So that is where they are making a clarion call. And today, now when we see these demands, what are these demands? भाई इसमें लिखा क्या है? हमारे बदमाश को छोड़ देना आप, हमने जो जमीन हड़पी है उसको प्रोटेक्ट करने देना. Tausif was saying everyone makes demands during election seasons. What kind of demands do people normally make? हमारा हैंडपंप बनवा देना, हमारी रेलवे लाइन जोड़ देना. They've made no such demands. Their demands are कि हमारी लैंड हमें दे देना किसी तरह हड़पी हुई जो है. Strengthen our corpus, release our thug, release our terrorist, our person. So this is their kind of demand. I mean, this shows that more than today, never before has there been a need for unity. Otherwise, these kind of demands, this kind of jamaat, this kind of thought for ummah will run us over. And you know, they are absolutely right in approaching MVA, which by the way is not Mahavikas Aghadi, it is Muslim Vikas Aghadi. And I'll tell you why. The same
No, one second. Please don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that.
I'm telling you, it is Muslim Vikas Aghadi.
No, because Chandrasekhar just feeling bad, Karan, Chandrasekhar just feeling bad. 1 minute. Chandrasekhar Jha of the Shiv Sena, Uddhav Balasaheb Thackeray faction is feeling bad. Please don't do that.
30 seconds, I'll give him reasons.
No, I want to go to him next. He's looking very upset. Don't do that. How dare you call it Muslim Vikas Aghadi?
30 seconds to tell him why it's Muslim Vikas Aghadi. Give me 30 seconds.
All the Ulema.
The same Uddhav Thackeray, ma'am, 1 second, please. Please, ma'am, I'm speaking, please. The same Bala Sahib Thackeray who was against the Waqf board, today Uddhav Thackeray says nobody can touch Waqf. The same Bala Thackeray's son, Mr. Bala Sahib Thackeray, he said Veer Savarkar should get Bharat Ratna. Today, the Congress openly insults Veer Savarkar. Rahul Gandhi makes it a point to insult him and you embrace him. You did not order a CBI probe in Palghar Sadhu's lynching. You walked out when the CAA was introduced from the Rajya Sabha. You met the All India Muslim Personal Law Board people and said UCC is dangerous. UCC can harm many other communities, not just Muslims. So today you become sympathetic to the Muslim cause. So it's only fitting that the ulemas write you a letter.
Yeah, I want to ask. Karan,
reduced to Muslim Vikas
Karan, I'm okay. Chandrasekhar Jha, ये देखिए आपको ये मुस्लिम विकास आघाड़ी बुला रहे हैं. That's Karan Verma what he has said, but I told him that it's not right because you won't feel good about that because the Shiv Sena is today a secular party, right? You're a secular party, and you want votes from all parties and that's all communities, and that's completely okay, right? Now my question to you is, because I have Sharad Pawar factions letter. Are you there? Chandrasekhar Jha, I'm just...
Yes.
Yeah, okay, you're there. Okay. I have a letter in my hand. And this letter, I have a translation also. This is signed by Jayant Rajaram Patil. I have the letter. It's in my hand. We have taken cognizance of the conditions. We express gratitude for the Ulema support. Right? And this is also expressing the importance of the board support to the NCP Sharad Pawar faction. So are you ready? I'm saying, okay, look at the situation. Uddhav Balasaheb Thackeray and his alliance has agreed to oppose Waqf bill, has agreed to allocate 1,000 crore to Muslim Waqf board, has agreed to 10% reservation for Muslims in Maharashtra. Uddhav Thackeray's party and alliance has also agreed to ban RSS on the formation of the MVA government. Uddhav's Shiv Sena has also called for immediate imprisonment of Nitesh Rane, Ramgiri Maharaj, release of Salman Azhari. Uddhav Shiv Sena has also agreed to pay 15,000 per month to Maulana and Imams of the masjids operating in the state. I needed your response to this, Chandrasekhar Jha.
See, first thing is that the basic thing is that this is a narrative which is being given in the media.
It's a reality. The letter is in my hand, sir. I'm hoping you're still in alliance with Sharad Pawar.
We have not received any kind of this letter.
I have this letter.
Second thing is that...
I have the letter.
No, we have not received.
Jayant Patil has confirmed the letter. You want me to play the soundbite? Okay, I'll do one thing. Chandrasekhar Jha, I'll play Jayant Patil bite in the middle. I'm playing Jayant Patil bite in the middle.
Let me complete my submissions.
Bite play कर दीजिए, उसके बाद चंद्रशेखर जी बात करेंगे. Bite play कर दिए बीच में. No, you hear it because you need to know the context. You need to know the context. I'm playing the bite in the middle. I'm going out. Jayant Patil coming out. Play the bite.
Is very much today in the media. Everybody knows it.
हाँ, ये गलत है. हम इसके बारे में सोच देख रहे हैं कि कैसे आ गया बाहर. ये हमने
कैसे आ गया बाहर
मुझे पता नहीं.
हम देखेंगे कैसे आ गया बाहर. हम देखेंगे कैसे आ गया बाहर. Why are you so embarrassed? They're your ally. No, why are you so embarrassed? Congress is not embarrassed. They openly ask for Muslim votes.
BJP is trying to do vote bank politics in the Maharashtra.
Vote bank politics.
Only एक है तो let me explain. Let me submit. एक है तो safe है. What kind of narrative is this? The Prime Minister says OBC, SC, ST, आदिवासी एक है तो safe है. It's basically a narrative. तुम मुझे वोट दो, मैं तुम्हें आजादी दूंगा. And that is the narrative is being created by such kind of words being uttered in Maharashtra. And Maharashtra rejects this kind of words.
Oh my God, I can't believe you just used the term. I can't believe you used the phrase vote bank politics.
Maulanas in Maharashtra.
I can't believe you used the word.
Kindly listen to me. Maulanas in Maharashtra were granted 15,000 salary hike by this BJP government. None other else. So who is doing this?
I'm asking you, are you going to give
5%, 4% reservation?
Are you giving 10% Muslim quota?
Muslim communities because
will Uddhav give 10% Muslim quota
BJP has given
if he wins?
Muslim community reservation in Andhra Pradesh. Let me be clear. This government is trying to do divide and politics because they don't treat Muslims of the country as the citizenship of this country very clearly. Let me say all these things. Mr. Ajit Pawar closely said that 10% reservation in assembly as
well as 5% reservation in
education to the Muslim community.
I'm only saying
are being created.
Chandrasekhar ji,
come down to the main point.
Chandrasekhar ji,
Mr. Devendra Fadnavis, for December 1st, 2018, itself agreed to Muslim community being reserved in the state of Maharashtra. That is,
I am asking you about Muslim quota, boss.
So this kind of narrative will not
Muslim
work in
quota.
Very clearly, it's an economic time.
Oh my God, narrative नहीं है भाई. Sir जी,
very clearly on record.
चंद्रशेखर झा जी, letter है. Oh, letter है. Okay, I'm getting narrative.
And if they want to work with this kind of narrative,
I understand it's a party stand. 1 minute.
That BJP wants to divide and rule.
Divide and rule.
They are saying very clearly that OBC, ST, SC, Adivasis are divided in India. It's a nationalistic discrimination being made by the BJP.
1 minute.
This is the narrative.
Now you will give Muslim quota. 1 minute. So you plan 1 minute. So let me get this right. So let me get this right. 1 minute. Chandrasekhar Jha, you're like an express train. Just hear me out. 1 minute. You're like an express train. I'm unable to stop you right now. 1 minute. No, 1 minute. I'm going to ask you my question to RP Singh. Chandrasekhar Jha, hear me, no? Chandrasekhar Jha, I gave you time. Now you can't keep on speaking now. 1 minute.
And they are losing.
Keep some part of your answer for later also, no? It's a 1 hour debate. RP Singh.
I still stand by what I raised earlier, that the demand number 5 is the most dangerous thing.
No, wait, he's answering. Wait, why he's answering? No, don't heckle him. I'm asking him, right? If you're going to give 10% Muslim quota, you're going to reduce quota, no? From somewhere. You'll take away quotas from scheduled castes, scheduled tribes, right? OBCs. Is that the plan? People will ask questions, no? Because you've agreed to it. I have a letter. Jayant Patil is saying, हम देखेंगे बाहर कैसे आ गया? RP Singh.
Well, वो देखेंगे क्या, उनको पता है बाहर कैसे आया, और वो ये अभी का नहीं. There's not. I mean, please go through the date of the letter. It's October, not just tomorrow. Just 9th October or probably
10th October. 10th October. 1 month back. 10th October.
10th October.
Yes.
So,
Mr. Devendra Fadnavis agreed to this reservation in 2018. What we are saying today, what kind of politics you are doing?
Please hold on.
They are not having
Hold your breath.
their salary hike to 15,000.
Mr. Jha, 1 minute.
लंबा सांस हो गया, बहुत लंबा बोल दिया.
Please withdraw all these things.
Withdraw what?
What kind of politics?
Withdraw what? What kind of politics? That is a question being asked to you. What kind of politics are you doing? By openly asking Muslims to vote for your party.
And against what? Against releasing the criminals from the jail. That's the question. Against releasing the criminals from the jail. And then you accepted it. That shows your DNA. That you to what extent you can go.
Your people have a DNA to divide the religion in India.
Oh my God.
You don't recognize
what did the PM say?
Divide 1 minute.
That is your DNA.
Oh, DNA. 1 minute. Hello. 1 minute. Divide. Speaking about dividing people. Atikur Rahman, I'm asking. Jaji, 1 minute. Speaking about dividing people. 10% Muslim quota देने का promise किया है इन्होंने. And they speak of dividing people.
एक है तो safe है mean what? एक है तो safe है mean what? United we stand, divided we fall. What is wrong in it? Where is dividing? Where is the dividing people? How is it dividing people?
आप वोट मांगते हैं और आजादी के लिए क्यों आपने आदिवासियों के ऊपर अत्याचार करके रखा है छत्तीसगढ़ में, आपने दलितों के ऊपर यूपी में, मध्य प्रदेश में, राजस्थान में अत्याचार किए हैं.
Question is to Atikur Rahman. Atikur Rahman.
Thank you. Niranjan, it's been 25 years. The Bombay High Court had suggested to the Maharashtra government to give 5% Muslims quota on their economic, educational and social backwardness. Government after government, alliance after alliance came and they failed to provide it. Last Sindhya government referred this to TISS, Tata Institute of Social Sciences, that we want to study the Muslim position and then we will be opining about it. That's why I'm telling you, without any demand, the Muslims should tell all Muslims together to defeat the BJP. Now, why to defeat the BJP? I have reasons. Niranjan, we have no choice. The BJP has
to release the criminal from the jail.
सरदार साहब ऐसे बीच में बोलेंगे तो काम नहीं चलेगा ना सरदार साहब. भाई हमारी बात सुनिए ना, आप हमारी बात नहीं सुनते. ये भी एक वजह है जो आपका पत्ता साफ हो रहा है. बहुत जगहों से।
पत्ता तो
सरदार साहब
हरियाणा में भी कर रहे थे आप।
सुनिए ना,
पत्ता तो हरियाणा में भी साफ कर रहे थे।
चाहते हैं निरंजन, निरंजन what's going on?
People of Maharashtra can be
Simple
fooled.
aspects are there. Niranjan, simple
Do
aspects
you
are
want
there.
the writers to be let free?
No, I'm
Right,
see.
to be let free.
I think my point is it's okay. You want Muslim votes, you're secretly doing it. Now you're openly doing it. You've done it secretly in the past. Now you're doing it openly, right? Congress needs the Muslim vote, right? Without the Muslim vote, they cannot win elections. It's a known fact, right? My question is to Shantanu. Shantanu, then even the Mahavikas Aghadi, now, you know, the Uddhav Balasaheb Thackeray faction leader is here. His party leader Uddhav Thackeray gives a speech daily. He should say openly, we want the Muslim votes. Right? He should openly say it. Congress should openly say, we want the Muslim vote. But why do you think they're scared, Shantanu? Why aren't they openly saying it?
No, I'm saying, see, they have to tread a thin line because thoda Hindu vote bhi chahiye. So how can they be so blatant? Today, I think I was noticing very interesting statement by Pinarayi Vijayan, right, the Chief Minister of Kerala. He said Priyanka Gandhi contesting with Jamaat-e-Islami support. And he added, Jamaat-e-Islami does not attach any importance to India or Indian democracy. Their only aim is to make the word Islamic rule. Who is saying? Pinarayi Vijayan, India Alliance partner. He's saying this against how Priyanka Gandhi is not talking about economic backwardness. Just told in the amendment 103, the amendment 103 is about 10% economic reservation. If you are economic weaker section, 10% reservation is already given to everyone.
Already 1 minute. Okay, I request all. Don't speak it. 1 minute. Speak one at a time. 1 minute. One at a time. Mr. Jha, hold on.
Wrong with the BJP regime. You come down to that part.
Boss, you just said vote bank politics. I can't get over the fact that you said vote bank politics. Vote bank politics is to seek the Muslim vote. That is called vote bank politics. By the way, Chandrasekhar Jha, vote bank politics is to seek the Muslim vote. You can accuse BJP of vote bank politics also. You're legitimately asking a question because when they say एक है तो सेफ है, एक सुन लीजिए, बट आप ऐसे बड़े शब्द यूज मत कीजिए, वोट बैंक पॉलिटिक्स मत बोलिए, क्योंकि because you have no moral right to say that. You have no moral right to say that. I'll tell you why. You at least ask Tawseef. देखो, Tawseef silently बैठा है वहाँ पे. नहीं, सुन लीजिए, आपका एलाय है, नहीं सुन लीजिए, आपका एलाय Tawseef वहाँ पे बैठा है, सुन लीजिए, your ally Tawseef is sitting, actually I think you're also in Bengal, right? Tawseef is there of the Trinamool Congress, right? At least they're openly, openly the TMC also banks on the minority vote. They're open about it. Tawseef, don't you think even the Uddhav Balasaheb Thackeray Sena faction should openly ask for the Muslim vote? What is wrong with that? Show support to Muslims. What is wrong with that? Even Congress must also openly ask for Muslim vote. What's wrong with that?
Politics is all about representing the unrepresented. Politics is all about empowering those who have been downtrodden, those who are the victim of the misgovernance of the government. And therefore, any political party during the election season will pitch for getting the votes and winning the confidence by addressing their needs and promising them what they.
1 minute, can you please explain to me how 1,000 crores to the Waqf? Can you please explain to me how allocating 1,000 crore to the Maharashtra Waqf board?
Okay. Waqf board has a income which is more than 1,000 crores, and all of this is in the control of the government. Waqf board is run under the control and supervision of the state government. Waqf board consists of members who are appointed by the state government and the IS officers who are the state government cadre. Therefore, it is the Waqf board's money which is under the state government, and the state government cannot and must not appropriate the money meant for the charitable.
So my reading is
for the helping the poor. If anyone does not know the concept of Waqf, anyone does not know the earning of the board, they must first go.
Okay,
and
my
learn
reading of this is Tausif, my reading of these demands is, see, Karnataka mein, I'm guessing somewhere after looking at this Sadhvi Jaya Bharti, let me bring her back. After looking at this, right?
This demand is better than the Sanghi who
Yeah, 1 minute.
Babri Masjid.
1 minute, sir, 1 minute. You're stuck on Babri Masjid. Move on, Tausif, move on. We're stuck on Babri Masjid now. Please move on. 1 second. Babri Masjid, yeah. And Ayodhya Ram Mandir is complete there. The subject, the matter is closed. 1 minute. Matter is closed. There's a Ram Mandir that has been constructed now. Matter is closed, Tausif.
It was an illegal act.
Tausif, Ram Mandir has been constructed. Pran Pratishtha ho gaya.
People demanded that.
No. Pran Pratishtha ho gaya. The matter is complete. Now you don't be stuck on Babri now. Nothing's going to happen. Ain't going to happen. Babri Masjid ain't going to happen. You know that. 1 minute. My question is Sadhvi Jaya Bharti. Sadhvi Jaya Bharti, I suspect that, looking at what's happening in Karnataka, for example, right, where a minister, the government, the state goes after farmers' lands, 15,000 acres, they try to harpo it. They try to take over the land and attach it as waqf. We reported it in great detail. 2 weeks later, that order was scrapped. You know what they did? The minority affairs minister there asked all administration, the administrators, right, the administration and the district magistrates to issue notices to all farmers whose properties were claimed by Waqf, 15,000 acres. And there was a farmer who committed suicide a few years back because of his only source of income being claimed by the Waqf in Haveri, Karnataka. 15,000 acres. If not for the media reporting that, they gave 15 days. By today, we did the story 2 weeks back. By today, all of those 15 acres would have gone to the Waqf board. But we reported it. There was huge movement there in Karnataka. The state government was forced to scrap it. My suspicion is this is going it's going to become a blueprint in Maharashtra if God forbid the Maharashtra Mahavikas Aghadi government comes in, right, and the 15 demands are, and you saw it, 1,000 acres to the Waqf board. Remove all encroachments from Waqf properties, which is of course another way of saying what we claim better be ours. Sadhvi Jaya Bharti.
See, whatever the Waqf board at and how Congress bought it and how has it been against Hindus is actually pinching very, very hard. And obviously this incident of farmers' land being taken away and was intended to be given to Waqf board is definitely something that's of a very serious nature. But even serious is what I'm hearing from this gentleman who's saying that it is a very genuine demand. When you naturalize, when you normalize, when you justify this thing that, a religious institution, a communal institution such as Waqf board, when you legitimize their illegitimate, their inhuman demands, where tomorrow they can claim any piece of land without any records of India, and they can take it away, and you are telling people that if my government comes in Maharashtra, Waqf board will have its way. Probably the whole Maharashtra might not need even a government in the next election, and the whole Maharashtra will be the Waqf board itself, because it's just
in Karnataka. I'll tell you what. In Karnataka, they've staked claim to the assembly, to the secretariat. They've staked claim to the assembly, the secretariat, the busiest markets.
For the Muslim vote. To what extreme? My question is, these Mahavikas Aghadi, just for the Muslim vote, to what extremes will they go? Against India, against the people of India.
Also the other
just because you want to appease minorities, this Muslim appeasement has got this radicalization. And sir, please don't talk over me. You do not have any moral.
You have no. I'm finding it. Jaya Bharti, 1 second. I'm finding it difficult. I'm finding it interesting. 1 minute. Chandrasekhar Jha has a problem with temple control. Are you serious? Are you serious? Are you questioning temples now?
No, we are not questioning.
You're in collision with the government.
But the question is that the central government and the state governments are in control of all the mandirs. Why BJP allegedly claiming to be a Hindutva party, they did not dissolve this kind of act or this kind of rule which was
that's a valid question. That's a valid question.
Still under the
That's a valid question. You should free temple control. What is wrong with that, RP Singh?
Under free sheep, they cannot be.
That's a valid point. That's a valid point. You should free temple control. They've done it. I think BJP has done it in Uttarakhand, if I'm not wrong.
No, nothing.
They've done something in Uttarakhand.
Of this act.
I think they've done something in Uttarakhand. I'm going to get you the exact facts.
Very clearly says
RP.
that can be controlled under the state or the central government, and it is very well said. And they have not abolished or repealed this said section. And it is very well present still
Uttarakhand shrines.
And if they
1 minute.
That they are raising questions about the
1 minute, the BJP, 1 minute, Uttarakhand, all shrines. Chandrasekhar Jha, all shrines, just FYI. Just FYI, all temples in Uttarakhand.
And nothing else.
All temples in Uttarakhand are out of government control.
No, this act has not
it's a
been
fact.
repealed.
Google it.
This section has not been repealed. If you want, I can still read it out on national media that it has not been repealed. So don't try to make a deceit on this act. Because Supreme Court has also not said anything. Supreme Court said it is up to this.
I'm getting in a word from your ally, the Congress Party. 1 minute. Abid, why don't Abid? Your party relies on the Muslim vote, banks on the Muslim vote, right? Why can't your party just openly say that Muslims must vote for us? Why is your party shy of saying it? Why are you scared of saying it? Are you scared of losing the Hindu vote if you say that? Because, see, Sharad Pawar faction is not scared. They're openly saying it. They've put a sign also on it.
हमें सबके वोट चाहिए. देश में सब बराबर है. चाहे हिंदू हो, मुस्लिम हो, सिख हो या ईसाई हो. सबके वोट से सरकार बनती है. किसी एक कम्युनिटी के वोट से सरकार नहीं बनती.
ओपनली सबका वोट, सीक्रेटली मुस्लिम वोट. ओपनली सबका वोट, सीक्रेटली मुस्लिम वोट. एक क्लिप है मेरे पास. कर्नाटका का आपका जो माइनॉरिटी अफेयर्स मिनिस्टर है, जो वक्फ का जो 15 एकर्स का वो जो ऑर्डर पास किया ना, उसका एक क्लिप है, मैं भेजता हूं आपको, जहां पे वो बोलता है कांग्रेस में मुस्लिम्स ने कमाल कर दिया. मैं भेजता हूं आपको.
कर्नाटका में किसकी सरकार थी?
पब्लिक में सबका वोट चाहिए, सीक्रेटली मुस्लिम वोट चाहिए.
एक्सप्लेन कर रहा है कि 4% मुस्लिम रिजर्वेशन क्यों उन्होंने आंध्र प्रदेश में दिया टीडीपी के साथ. क्या उसमें मजबूरी थी? कहां गई इनकी हिंदुत्व?
Okay. It's a very, very big political controversy, election controversy. At this point, only because I'm short of time. Okay, RP, 10 seconds after end the debate. Quickly, 10 seconds of ending the debate.
Very small point. Do you know how much land the Waqf board in Maharashtra has? 92,000 acres.
They want more.
And also, what sort of property, what sort of value it has?
They want more.
1.5 lakh crore rupees. And then also another 1,000 crore rupees. My point is,
Okay. Thank you. Only because I'm short of time. Only 1 minute. Only because I'm short of time. RP, Karan, Sadhvi Jayabharti, Shantanu, Tausif, Abid, Atiq, Chandrasekhar Jha will be a top focus through the week. We'll talk again. Thank you very much. Okay, and that's it on this edition of the news. Headlines coming up when we come back from this short break. Stay tuned.
Amity has been ranked among the top universities globally for producing the most employable graduates by the Times Higher Education UK. Yet another testimony to Amity's excellent placement record.
what's your message to everyone who use, controversies to say our institutional mechanism is not strong enough? Where our institutions need to be given credit, we put that aside and only pick that one thing about that institution and say, look at this, our institutions are really now being threatened. But what about the other things which make our institutions stand out? Every one of our institutions are really doing their maximum best, world-class best. Today, our benchmarks are being looked at rather than the benchmark elsewhere.
Director, the taste of success.
Amity has been ranked among the top universities globally for producing the most employable graduates by the Times Higher Education UK. Yet another testimony to Amity's excellent placement record.
Largest news headquarters, setting the agenda for Bharat. You're watching Republic.
Hello and welcome. You're watching Live and Breaking at 10 p.m. I am Tanisha Avasthi. On this edition, we'll get you all the top stories that have made it to the headlines in details, from what's happening in the poll-bound state of Maharashtra and Jharkhand to the samosa controversy that has hit the Congress party. All that and much more on this edition. But first, here's a quick check of the headlines that we're tracking. Ulema mobilizes votes for Indie bloc ahead of Maharashtra elections. MVA agrees to Ulema's pro-minority demands. BJP calls out appeasement vote bank politics. Ulema board issues 17 conditions to the MVA, says agree to the demand and take the support.
भाई हर एक तो अपना इख्तियार है वोट देने का नहीं देने का, उनका इख्तियार है। हमारा काम, हम जहां हमारे कैंडिडेट है वहां पर अपना प्रचार करें।
Meanwhile, AIMIM backs Ulema's support to MVA, asks why is there hatred against one community?
एससी को कमजोर करके सरकार बना लेगी, यही उसकी चाल है। आपको याद रखना है, एक है तो सेफ है।
In his Maharashtra campaign, Prime Minister Modi reiterates call for Hindu unity, says ek hai to safe hai.
एक एक बांग्लादेशी को झारखंड की धरती से निकालेंगे.
BJP takes a strong stand in Jharkhand, says all Bangladeshis will be sent back and that no tribal status for children of infiltrators will be given.
जन समर्थन भारी उत्साह. क्या लग रहा है झारखंड में इस बार परिवर्तन तय है?
पूर्ण बहुमत के साथ यहां भारतीय जनता पार्टी की सरकार एक बार फिर से बनने जा रही है.
Amit Shah leads BJP's Jharkhand campaign in Jamshedpur, says the mandate of the people will give a befitting reply to the Indie bloc. And ladies and gentlemen, we start this edition with the top story that we're tracking here on Republic, which is coming in from the poll-bound state of Maharashtra. Now, Maharashtra is just 10 days away from the voting. And today, the MVA is going all out to gather votes by the means of appeasement politics. Now, the Ulema board has come out with conditional support to the MVA. The MVA has accepted all their demands, thereby openly mobilizing a community to vote en masse. The Congress and allies have now essentially become a party banking on Muslim votes, is what the BJP is alleging. Here's the full story.
Ahead of Maharashtra Assembly polls, All India Ulema Board Maharashtra has written a letter offering support to Mahavikas Aghadi. However, the board has put forward 17 pro-Muslim demands before the MVA. These include survey in 48 districts by Maharashtra Waqf Board. The board wants cases against Muslim community should be withdrawn and demands release of 31 MPs, including Maulana Salman Azhari. Another big demand that the board has proposed is sending Hindu saint Ramagiri Maharaj and BJP MLA Nitesh Rane behind the bars. Other demands include recruitment of educated Muslims in police force, appointment of 500 employees in Maharashtra Waqf Board, and action against those who speak against Prophet Muhammad. While NCP Sharad Pawar faction has expressed his gratitude to Ulema board and has asked them to campaign for them, meanwhile, Shinde faction has termed it as appeasement politics.
The All India Ulema board has put not 1, 2, 3 but 17 conditions on the Mahavikas Aghadi, which includes opposing the Prime Minister's Waqf Board Amendment Bill. I think it is very shocking because some of these conditions are totally not acceptable.
The big question is whether these demands are political bargaining tactic to just consolidate Muslim vote bank.
Now, ahead of the Maharashtra elections, the Prime Minister is leading the BJP's campaign in the state. Slamming the Congress party, he has taken some very, very sharp retorts at the Congress, starting from the constitutional blunder that Rahul Gandhi had made in an event in Nagpur, to slamming the NC for demanding restoration of Article 370, to even amplifying the Hindu unity pitch. Here are all the excerpts of the Prime Minister's rally that you need to know.
Seems like unity pitch has become the poll mantra for BJP in Jharkhand and Maharashtra. In his back-to-back rallies, first in Dhule, then Nasik, and now in Akola, PM has amplified his unity pitch. PM even accused Congress of pitting one caste against another. Listen in.
Congress एससी समाज के अधिकार उनसे छीन लेगी, एससी को कमजोर करके सरकार बना लेगी, यही उसकी चाल है, यही उसका चरित्र है। इसलिए आपको कांग्रेस की इस खतरनाक साजिश से सावधान रहना है। आपको याद रखना है, एक है तो सेफ है।
Not only this, PM launched a scathing attack on Congress and National Conference over the showdown in J&K Assembly. He warned Congress and allies to not encourage Pakistan's agenda.
ये कौन लोग हैं जो फिर से 370 को लागू करना चाहते हैं? अलगाववादी इसकी मांग करते हैं या नहीं करते हैं? आतंकवादी संगठनों ने 370 हटाने का विरोध किया था कि नहीं किया था? पाकिस्तान 370 का रोना रोता है या नहीं रोता है? जितनी भारत विरोधी ताकत है, सब के सब 370 का समर्थन करते हैं, और वही कांग्रेस की विभाषा बन गई है। कांग्रेस वही भाषा बोलती है।
Furthermore, PM Modi ripped into Congress and Rahul Gandhi over the constitution blunder.
संविधान के नाम पर लाल किताब छपवाना, उसमें से संविधान के शब्दों को हटाना, ये संविधान को खत्म करने की कांग्रेस की पुरानी सोच का नमूना है। यही कोशिश इन लोगों ने आपातकाल के दौरान की थी, इमरजेंसी में की थी। अब अपनी अलग किताब छपवाकर ये संविधान का मजाक उड़ा रहे हैं। सच्चाई ये है कि कांग्रेस और उसके साथियों को बाबा साहब के संविधान से नफरत है।
Meanwhile, he has launched a scathing attack on Mahavikas Aghadi, calling them a corrupt party. Listen in.
मराठवाड़ा में 11 सिंचाई योजनाओं को मंजूरी दे दी गई है। इस क्षेत्र की सिंचाई की समस्या दूर करने के लिए मराठवाड़ा वाटर ग्रिड परियोजना शुरू की गई थी, लेकिन जब महाअगाड़ी की सरकार आई तो उसने इस पर रोक लगा दी। अब महायुति की सरकार ने इसे दोबारा गति दी है।
Maharashtra is set to vote on November 20th, while the votes will be counted on November 23rd.
Now, the other state that is going to poll this month is the state of Jharkhand. Ahead of the Jharkhand polls, Madhya Pradesh Chief Minister Mohan Yadav has made fresh attacks on the JMM Congress-led coalition, saying that Soran government turned Ranchi into Pakistan's Karachi. Watch this report where he alleges that infiltration is on the rise in the state of Jharkhand, and all of this due to the opposition's politics.
Madhya Pradesh Chief Minister Mohan Yadav has made it to the headlines with his recent Ranchi-Karachi jibe at Soran party. During a rally ahead of the Jharkhand polls, CM Mohan Yadav made a scathing attack on Jharkhand CM Soran, accusing them of converting Ranchi into Pakistan's Karachi. Listen in.
पाकिस्तान को जहां पर रोज लूट, फरेब, झूठ, मक्कारी, चालाकी और अपने हिंदुओं पे अपमान करने के लिए वो जाना जाने लगा है, और दुर्भाग्य से हमारे इसी रांची को हेमंत सोरेन और कांग्रेस वालों ने कराची बना दिया। कराची, ये दुर्भाग्य की बात है।
Further, he also accused JMM Congress of declining Hindu population in the state because of influx of Bangladeshi migrants.
कोई दुनिया का ऐसा देश नहीं है जो विदेशी घुसपैठ को बढ़ावा देता है। सब अपने देश के नागरिकों की चिंता करते हैं, अपने प्रदेश के नागरिकों को आगे बढ़ाने में विश्वास करते हैं, लेकिन वोट के लालच में ये भूखे भेड़िए ये रात दिन सपना देखते हैं कि आओ आ जाओ आपकी आबादी आ जाएगी, खाली वोट दे देना, मर्जी आए जो कर देना। ये सारे पाप मिटाने का ये चुनाव है।
Meanwhile, BJP national spokesperson Shehzad Poonawalla supported CM Yadav's remark, saying that India is not Dharmshala and BJP wants a thorough action against alleged Jharkhand infiltration. Let's listen in.
मुस्लिम अपीजमेंट के चक्कर में ही आज रांची कराची की ओर जा रहा है। सोचिए कि आदिवासी समाज की संस्कृति के संरक्षण के लिए जो बना था झारखंड, वहां पर ही आदिवासी समाज की आबादी, रोटी, बेटी, माटी, रोजगार, जमीन, जंगल सब पर खतरा आ गया वोट बैंक के नीति के चलते।
Shivraj Singh Chauhan, CM Mohan Yadav's predecessor, also called out the Soren government, saying that the BJP government will expel infiltrators. Listen in.
ये देश धर्मशाला थोड़ी है, जिसकी मर्जी में आज वही रह रहा है। और सत्ताधारी गठबंधन हेमंत सोरेन का वोटर लिस्ट में उनका नाम लिखाते हैं, आधार कार्ड बनवाते हैं, राशन कार्ड बनवाते हैं और उनको वोट मिलते हैं, इसलिए उनकी सुरक्षा और संरक्षण करते हैं। यह हम किसी भी कीमत पर नहीं होने देंगे।
BJP's campaign ahead of Jharkhand polls is mostly focused on rising infiltration in the state. As BJP versus JMM Congress continues in Jharkhand, it will be interesting to see who forms the government in the land of forest.
Now, the Income Tax Department raided several locations in poll-bound Jharkhand, and this was related to Hemant Soren's close aide. What we do know is that 9 locations were raided today by the Income Tax Department, which also includes Jamshedpur and Ranchi. Now, on one hand, while the JMM is claiming that the central agencies are being used and misused by the central government is completely clear, with BJP saying that anybody who has corruption on their hands will be punished, will be brought to book. Here's the full report.
Just days to go for the Jharkhand Assembly polls, and a political slugfest has started after Income Tax Department raided the premises of Chief Minister Hemant Soren's personal secretary. The income tax today raided 9 places, including Jamshedpur and Ranchi, related to Soren's secretary Sunil Srivastav. The Jharkhand Mukti Morcha accused the central government of orchestrating the raids and using the central agencies right before the elections.
देखिए, ईडी है या इनकम टैक्स से कुछ पता नहीं, लेकिन किसी केंद्रीय एजेंसी की है। ये वक्त है, ये संवैधानिक एजेंसियों पर उंगलियां इसलिए उठती, ये कौन सा वक्त है? माननीय मुख्यमंत्री के वरीय आप सचिव, उनकी सहभागिता है, चुनाव प्रबंधन में है, बहुत सारे जिम्मेवारियां वो निभा रहे हैं और उस समय उनको इस तरह की उनके साथ परेशानी पैदा करना कहीं न कहीं केंद्रीय एजेंसियों को कटघरे में खड़ा करता है।
Earlier, the Enforcement Directorate had taken action against the Jharkhand CM, arresting him in a money laundering case.
रेड पड़ना चालू हो गया, हाँ? एक नया कैडर निकल आया मैदान में भारतीय जनता पार्टी का, कोई बात नहीं देखते।
JMM's ally Congress joined the chorus against the BJP government for misusing central agencies against opposition parties.
चुनाव में भारतीय जनता पार्टी पिछड़ रही है, वो आईटी और ईडी का सहारा लेकर के वो चुनाव में आगे बढ़ना चाहती है, लेकिन राज्य की जनता भारतीय जनता पार्टी को पहले भी खदेड़ने का काम किया और इस बार के विधानसभा के चुनावों में भी पूरी तरह नकारने का काम करेगी। हम आईटी से ईडी से डरने वाले लोग नहीं हैं।
बहुत ही गलत है। देखिए, सरकार की नीतियों के संबंध में हमारे कई आलोचना है और हो भी सकते हैं, लेकिन चुनाव के मौके पर भारतीय जनता पार्टी इतनी डेस्परेट हो गई है यहाँ, वो देख रहे हैं कि जितने भी वो नफरत की पॉलिटिक्स यहाँ चला रहे हैं, लोग उसका रिस्पांस नहीं दे रहे। इसलिए अभी ईडी, सीबीआई, आईटी जो उनके ट्रस्टेड दोस्त है, जो उनके सबसे बड़े मित्र हैं, उनका इस्तेमाल किया जा रहा है।
The BJP slammed the Hemant Soren-led government over corruption charges, saying that the agency is only doing its job.
छापा पड़ जाने दीजिए, उसके बाद पता चलेगा। यही तो दिखाता है कि हेमंत सोरेन और उसके आसपास के लोग, जो लोग हैं नेताएं सभी बारी हैं, वो बारी बंदिशकतियाँ नहीं कर रहा है। अमित अग्रवाल का सवाल हो, अविनाश का सवाल हो, सुनील श्रीवास्तव का सवाल हो, पिंटू का सवाल हो, कोई आदमी है जो आदिवासी है? तो इसीलिए जिस तरह से झारखंड लूटा है, उस लूट की कहानी जो है अभी आएगी। प्रधानमंत्री जी कहते हैं ना खाएंगे ना खाने देंगे, किसी को लूट की छूट नहीं है और ये सभी सलाखों के पीछे।
अभी ये तो इनकम टैक्स वालों का अपना काम है, जैसे हम लोगों का अपना काम है चुनाव में चुनाव प्रचार कर रहे हैं। तो जिसका जो काम होता है वो अपना काम करता है, उसमें किसी को कोई आश्चर्य भी नहीं होना चाहिए।
ये इलेक्शन का समय है, इस समय तो सारी एजेंसियां जो हैं वो हाई अलर्ट पर रहती है, क्योंकि बड़े पैमाने पर हवाला के जरिए पैसे का ट्रांजैक्शन इधर उधर होने की सूचना ऐसे भी मीडिया सर्कल में फैलती रहती हैं। तो इन सब में ये दबिश को अब देखना होगा। अब इनकम टैक्स क्या फाइनली बताती है कि किन कारणों से रेड किया गया है और क्या वहाँ मिला, ये तो विस्तृत प्रतिक्रिया उनके रेड्स के जो प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस है उसके बाद ही देना चाहिए।
With the elections only a few days away, how will this impact the political landscape in the state?
Now, in the state of Himachal Pradesh, what is making headlines is a samosa. The controversy over missing samosa has sparked a fierce political slugfest in the state, drawing attention to the state's priorities. Now, in the incident which began with just samosas intended for Chief Minister Sukhwinder Singh Sukhu were allegedly eaten by his staff, prompting the state CID to launch an investigation. The BJP today staged a samosa march in Shimla and criticized the Sukhu government for focusing on such a trivial matter while neglecting more pressing issues like fulfilling election promises. Here's a detailed report.
After the Himachal Pradesh government came under fire for a CID probe on a missing samosa, the BJP today staged a samosa march in Shimla.
ये भाजपा इस तरह से प्रदेश के अंदर बंटी हुई है, आप समझें कि दिशाहीन है। इनका कोई एजेंडा नहीं है प्रदेश के लिए, लोगों के लिए, विकास के लिए। जिसके पास कुछ नहीं होता वो इस प्रकार के मुद्दों को मुद्दा बना के लोगों को गुमराह करने का और प्रदेश का नाम खराब करने का काम ये कर रहे हैं।
Former Himachal Pradesh Chief Minister and leader of opposition Jairam Thakur took a jibe at Chief Minister Sukhwinder Singh Sukhu by organizing a samosa party with BJP workers. The controversy erupted after samosas meant for CM Sukhu were allegedly eaten by his staff members. BJP leader Smriti Irani slammed the Congress party for its misplaced priorities and for not fulfilling its promises announced during the elections.
कांग्रेस पार्टी चुनाव में लुभाने के लिए, वोट पाने के लिए बोलती है झूठ, सत्ता में आने के बाद करती है लूट और देश में डालती है फूट।
Himachal Chief Minister Sukhwinder Singh Sukhu defended the decision of a CID inquiry, calling it a case of misbehavior by staff members.
बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट जो मामला चल रहा है वो है समोसा पॉलिटिक्स। हम देख रहे हैं कि बीजेपी लगातार वार कर रही है और अब पूछ रही है कि क्या जरूरी है स्टेट एजेंसी को इसमें घुसने का, कि वेस्ट ऑफ टाइम नहीं है।
देखिए ना, किसी चीज़ को आप पूरा बचकाना बात है ये। पहले पूरी जो डीजीपी ने बयान दिया उसको आप देख लीजिए। और मैं देख रहा हूँ जब से कांग्रेस पार्टी की 40 सीटें हुई है, दोबारा कांग्रेस पार्टी ऑपरेशन लोटस के बाद जीत कर आई है, तो एक टारगेटेड कैंपेन चल रहा है। और टारगेटेड कैंपेन क्यों चल रहा है मुझे समझ नहीं आ रहा।
The Congress government's bizarre probe on a missing samosa is a clear indication of its misplaced priorities.
Now, in the country of Bangladesh, there is a spate of attacks on Hindus. Today, there is a fresh targeted attack on Hindu institutions, where an Islamist group from Bangladesh has demanded a ban on ISKCON, saying that it is against the nation's interest. Here's a detailed report on the same. Temples attacked. Minority groups threatened. And now, a call for ban on ISKCON in Bangladesh.
Islamist radical group Hifazat-e-Islam called for a ban and raised slogans against the Hindu organization. It calls for an Islamic state in Bangladesh. The website and social media accounts of ISKCON Bangladesh were also hacked and removed today.
Yesterday, some extremist groups have started calling on the other fellow extremists to attack and kill the ISKCON members. So all of this points to a very alarming signal, and we hope that none of these actually come to truth. But nevertheless, we need to be very worried and concerned about it.
भगवान के नाम की तो विजय होगी, सत्य की विजय होगी, जो समझना चाहेंगे, और भगवान की शक्ति जो है इस नाम में पूरी है, नाम कार्य बहुधा निज सर्वशक्ति से। तो अगर हम किसी से सहायता ना भी लें, हम तो लेने के लिए तैयार हैं, अगर हम ना भी लें तो भी नाम की शक्ति है इसमें, और ये जो है फैलेगा, किसी भी हालत में ये रोक नहीं सकता।
जिस प्रकार से ISKCON को धमकी दी जा रही है, ISKCON की संस्थाओं को धमकी दी जा रही है, चाहे और हिंदू मंदिरों को तोड़े जा रहे हैं, हिंदुओं पे अत्याचार हो रहे हैं, उस पर रोक लगवाए। निश्चित रूप से अभी अपने जो वादे किए थे राष्ट्रपति ट्रंप ने, उसको पूरा करें, क्योंकि बांग्लादेश में सरकार नाम मात्र की है, ये बहुत ही दुर्भाग्यपूर्ण है।
Earlier, Ministry of External Affairs had urged strong action against the attacks on Hindu community in Chittagong.
See, we have observed that there have been recent attacks on Hindu community in Chittagong. Their properties have been looted, their business establishments have been looted, and these happened following incendiary posts on social media targeting Hindu religious organizations. It is understood that there are extremist elements who are behind such posts and such illegal criminal activities. This is bound to create further tensions in the community. We yet again urge the government of Bangladesh to take strong measures to ensure the safety of Hindus and to take action against extremist elements.
Amidst spate of attacks against Hindus in Bangladesh and targeted attacks on temples in Bangladesh, it is time that Hindus unite against the divisive forces.
Run for Inclusion event organized by Special Olympic Bharat has drawn over 7,000 participants across Delhi NCR region. Show of unity and inclusion. This event marks first ever milestone in the series of events lined up where more than 100 athletes will participate across 12 countries. Take a look at this report.
In a remarkable show of unity and purpose, Special Olympic Bharat organized Run for Inclusion event, drawing over 7,000 participants. This event set a vibrant tone to the upcoming Special Olympics Asia Pacific bocce and bowling competition, slated to begin from November 18th. The event was flagged off by Union Minister Harsh Malhotra, who was also the chief guest of the event. Several people from all walks of life came together to support this movement of inclusion through sports. The core message of the event, each one, reach one, resonated strongly with the participants. Apart from the crowd, over 1,000 special athletes participated in the run, unifying for the power of sports. Also present in the event were BJP leaders Manoj Tiwari and Basuri Swaraj.
This is really a special. और यहाँ जितने बच्चे आज रन फॉर जो उद्देश्य है इसका सबको एक साथ मिला के वो स्पेशल है, मगर वो हमसे भी सुपीरियर है। इस भावना के साथ उनको इस रन में शामिल करना, सभी को इतने अच्छी अच्छी ड्रेस देना, इसमें हम सबका भाग लेना ही बहुत मैं थैंक्स करना चाहता हूं कि हमको उन्होंने पार्ट बनाया।
Run for Inclusion event marked first milestone in the series of events lined up in the Asia Pacific bocce and bowling competition, where more than 100 athletes will participate across 12 countries.
The time has come once again. when the greatest economic minds of India will gather under one roof and discuss the driving forces behind our thriving economy. Republic Media Network presents the 4th edition of the India Economic Summit, Viksit Bharat Bullseye, a platform where topmost ministers, visionary policymakers, renowned economists and influential industry leaders and entrepreneurs will chart India's economic future. Tune in on Tuesday, November 12th for all the live action.
What's your message to everyone who use controversies to say our institutional mechanism is not strong enough?
Where our institutions need to be given credit, we put that aside and only pick that one thing about that institution and say, look at this, our institutions are really now being threatened. But what about the other things which make our institutions stand out? Every one of our institutions are really doing their maximum best, world-class best. Today, our benchmarks are being looked at rather than the benchmark elsewhere.
Director, the taste of success.
Team Marksmen hosted the 4th edition of the Influential Leaders of India in Mumbai recently. Based on the theme, Empowering Excellence, Championing Change Makers, the 2024 edition was an endeavor to acknowledge the visionary leaders across various sectors. These change makers have demonstrated leadership that goes beyond traditional management, embraced innovation, and ensured calculated risk-taking to create new possibilities and redefine the existing paradigms. Republic TV and Marksman Daily present Influential Leaders of India 2024, brought to you by Team Marksman. Join us in celebrating the achievements of the next generation of leaders who steer the nation's growth through rapid technological changes, global shifts, and increasing societal expectations. After a round of keynotes, discussions, and deliberations, it was time for the spotlight of the day. Felicitation of the influential leaders of India.
It's that time of the evening that we've all been waiting for. In fact, we've managed to survey the landscape of leadership and all that entails through a series of conversations that have offered fresh perspectives. And which is why it is essential that we continue to do so, which is why we see that businesses around the globe are facing multiple unprecedented disruptions and uncertain macroeconomic outlook. So in the face of this kind of complexity and volatility, the role of strong leadership is more important than ever before. Now, what we're going to do is we've got our leaders who have gathered over here, the ones who have managed to show the foresight and the courage to exactly do that is steer the organization, steer their people, do that bit, show the roadmap as well for the way ahead, which is why we will do that and we will proceed with the unveiling and the recognition ceremony. So what I'm going to do is invite on stage Sharad Gupta, co-founder Team Marksman Network, and Akash Tiwari, co-founder Team Marksman Network, to please come on stage. we hear it for Dheeraj Relly, Managing Director and CEO, HDFC Securities.
Mr. Relly, thank you so much for being here with us for this conversation. What I first want to talk to you about was your leadership tenure and the manner in which you've helped reshape HDFC Securities and shape their growth stories. Now, of course, when you took the helm, there was a lot of headroom for growth, but there were also some inherent challenges when you took over. What did you do to set that pathway for growth, and what role did your personal leadership style play in that?
Thank you for having me. I have joined HDFC Securities as MD and CEO in 2015. Prior to that, I was heading a large region for HDFC Bank in the retail banking. Have worked before that in various banks in the retail banking space. Broking was new to me at that time. First, I got a rude shock when I realized that unlike the bank where you can build the book and keep building the book and earn revenue on the book, in broking business, it's almost like daily wages. You have to earn your revenues on a daily basis.
Right.
So it was one change for me in terms of my approach. When I joined HDFC Securities in 2015, I could within few months able to understand that I am dealing with mediocrity, underinvestment in technology, infrastructure, product ecosystem, digital ecosystem, and also being passive internally and externally. So I had to do a massive transformation for the organization. I started the journey brick by brick, started working on people first internally. I had to challenge them, at the same time win heart also. I did not change team members, I changed their mindsets. This was an interesting phase for me to work on people. It's very easy for a new CEO to come and do massive changes in the organization structure, get new people from outside. I realized that there is no need for me to get people from outside. I can work on internal team as well, but groom them significantly. So that's where I started to focus on them, challenge their mindset. My leadership style is an involved leadership style. I believe in leadership by persuasion rather than domination. So that involves a lot of open door policy. You have a honest, fair and frequent interactions with the team members, understand their perspective, help them to give the larger picture and show them the opportunity at the marketplace also. This is how you work along with the team members, and started to invest parallelly on the improving the infrastructure. We revamped various branches and also started to invest disproportionately higher resources on the technology. So a culmination of investments on infra, technology, change of mindset in the team members was my change making process to bring in the more and more opportunity for HDFC Securities.
So there's a lot to unpack over there, but let me first touch upon transformation. That's a word I heard a lot about in this first answer of yours. In terms of the cultural change and the digital transformation that has happened at the company, to what level from your perspective did you find that to be challenging?
See, the whole architecture of technology was archaic, built in such a manner you can't scale. And we were in early 2020 or later in the close to 2018, we started to see the financialization of savings to grow significantly. We've seen also many tech-led brokerage houses to come and start disrupting the broking space, not only on the pricing side, but also on the technology side also. So it was important to work on the new age technology and digital ecosystem. That required a fresh thinking, completely bottoms-up approach to go and change wherever we need to change, partner with the right set of technology partners and work on each and every parameter to improve it. So we work on all possible digital properties to ensure that our digital properties are bringing ease of doing business for our customers. So we worked on the customer experience side, we work on the scalability. We moved in last few years to the cloud ecosystem so that we can provide a desired scale. One thing you need to understand in our business is that we operate for 375 minutes, 9:15 to 3:30.
Okay.
So there are spikes whenever there is a news in the market or entry 9:15 or ending at 3:30, there are spikes of transaction, there are enhanced concurrency. So you need to have a scalable and almost 100% availability of the systems.
Let's shift gears a little bit, talk about the diversification of products and services. Of course, at the time that you took the helm, there was a big focus on HNIs. Now we are seeing millennials, we're seeing, like you alluded to correctly, institutional investors, and a big diversification of the products and services also on offer. How has all of this reshaped the value proposition of HDFC Securities?
So we had most of our resources were into dealing mindset. The customer would call them, they would execute the transactions on the terminal, digital properties were suboptimal, hence customers were not using, and also digitization was at nascent stages in 2016-17, it was picking up. So, brokerage and that too on the terminal was the only way good to go to do the broking. But we realized that we need to change the mindset of our dealers to a relationship management ecosystem so that they understand the customer's requirement in a holistic manner. It required a lot of grooming, training, change in the approach for them to transform them from a dealer to a relationship manager. So our aspiration is to be holistic in our offering and understand the customers' all possible needs and serve them on all possible needs.
Beautiful. So looking back, is there any particular metric, any particular achievement that gives you a sense of pride about how far you've come on this journey?
I think if I talk about the top line and bottom line growth, from 2015 to 2024, we have grown top line by 6.5x and bottom line by 6x. But more than that, I think I take more pride in moving away from a single source of revenue dependence to multiple revenue avenues. I have always been focusing on granularity. Right. It's not that you go to few HNIs and start serving few thousand HNIs, few lakhs HNIs and get the business. My take is that when you reach out to many more customers and you ensure that you understand and serve customers, whether they have a 10,000 rupees to invest or 100 crore rupees to invest. Right. And that's very, very important. And once you build the capabilities across the organization, which can cater to the Gen Z, millennials, and the family offices, institutional customers, that's where you make the organization far more sustainable.
So Mr. Really, looking to the future, what are some of the major engines of growth from your perspective?
So we've invested in all-in-one platform, HDFC Sky, that's available already to all the investors, particularly investors like millennials, Gen Z, and so on. So I think this is a low-cost platform also. And other than this, we have invested in investment advisory services and launched HDFC True, which will be serving the ultra HNI customers. Right. And we have also incorporated a subsidiary in Gift City. I think a culmination of all these things will be big growth enabler for us. Also, we have invested and transformed our technology to make it more agile, robust, and enhanced our customer experience. Okay. So investment in digital properties, offering the complete suite of products, and the new launches will be growth engines for HDFC Securities for next decade or so.
The next leader on stage, ladies and gentlemen, Arvind Goel, Chairman, Tata Autocom.
The most significant lesson in my leadership journey is that technological advancements in the auto component industry align with the progress made by the original equipment manufacturers. To ensure our components integrate seamlessly with evolving design, we must adapt quickly to shifting megatrends driven by customers' preference. Taking strategic risk is critical. Sizing opportunity to introduce new solutions can determine whether we lead or lag in the market. Talent creation and retention are also vital, as having skilled people drives innovation. We must create an environment that supports growth and continuous learning. Collaboration with educational institutions, is essential for nurturing the next generation of talent and maintaining a competitive edge. Finally, social responsibility is crucial for attracting and retaining talent, helping us positively impact the communities we serve. And as you know, all Tata companies have a responsibility to give back to society.
Time to now invite on stage Ravi Raghavan, Managing Director, Bharat Fritz Werner.
First of all, thank you very much, and it's a great honor, and I accept this award with a lot of humility. It's not an award for me, but for the whole team who has worked with me throughout my career in shaping me and supporting me in achieving all that I could. As a leader, it's very important that you don't only develop yourself, but you develop your team, you develop your society. I've been very privileged to work even with the government, to work on the improvements, policies, suggestions that I can give the government. I've been privileged to work on a social improvement, work with individuals who are underprivileged, and of course on developing a lot of youngsters during my career. It's been a great privilege, and thank you very much for the jury and of course the team Marksman, which has taken this initiative, which is important to keep even encouraging the leaders, because they also need encouragement as they do encourage their teams below. Thank you very much.
Let me now please invite Soumitra Saha, Vice President and Managing Director, Lumen Technologies India.
Based on my experience, I think there are three critical things which are required for effective leadership in today's world. Number one is adaptability. We are all living in a VUCA world. There is a lot of uncertainty around us every single day. Uncertainty leads to changes. Changes lead to anxiety. But as leaders, if we get anxious, it's going to be a challenging journey ahead of us. So it's important that we are able to understand the signals of change firsthand and adapt ourselves seamlessly into those changes. That will help us thrive and lead our organizations better. A great example of adaptability is staying relevant in today's context. The second most important skill, according to me, is innovation and creativity. It's important to understand that innovation and creativity cannot be learned. So it's not a skill that you acquire, but it is a practice. As leaders, we need to practice a culture and create a culture of innovation within our organizations. And the last one in my mind is in terms of sound decision making in a timely manner.
With that, Influential Leaders of India 2024 came to an end. Team Marksmen celebrated the spirit of influential figures who serve as beacons of inspiration for others. Each personality honored during the ceremony has demonstrated how a blend of passion, resilience, and a global perspective can propel one to the forefront of leadership. After a short break, we will take a look at prestigious education brands 2024-25. Stay tuned.
India's fiercely competitive educational landscape, a select few institutions stand as beacons of excellence. Marksman's next event recognized the institutions that have a commitment to experiential learning and bridge theory and practice. Republic TV and Marksman Daily present prestigious education brands 2024 to 2025. Brought to you by Team Marksman, celebrating excellence in education brands, honoring academic brilliance. The inaugural edition of this landmark event promised to be an exclusive gathering of brands that have transformed the education ecosystem. By delivering education programs differently and speedily, their efforts are not only helping to create a brighter future for India's youth, but also driving the nation's growth agenda. The event kicked off with a keynote on the initiatives undertaken by AICTE to enhance the global competitiveness of the country's technical manpower. Up next, glimpses of the felicitation ceremony of elite institutions that distinguish themselves by offering a rich tapestry of extracurricular activities, fostering well-rounded individuals and preparing them for an ever-evolving world. They create environments where academic rigor harmoniously blends with creative exploration, nurturing critical thinking skills and igniting students' passions. A few of the experts who were honored during the event were Dr. Raj Singh, Vice Chancellor, Jain, deemed to be University.
As you're aware, National Education Policy 2020 was announced in July 2020, and this policy is something which articulates the future vision of education in India. We adopted NEP 2020 early on in 2021 itself, and the soul of NEP 2020 is outcome-based education, which means we deliver what is required by the industry, and it also requires interdisciplinarity, wherein we bring learning very close to real life. You know that real life is not single discipline, it's inter and transdisciplinary, and by definition it comes very close to real life. Once we do that, the quality of education goes up. The last thing which NEP recommends is that after in education there is a continuum. Studies, theoretical studies, then research and then practice. The extension of research to practice requires innovation, which means education's purpose should be to solve the problems of real life. And once you create that kind of environment, you will be able to deliver what is expected by the client organizations, of whatever kind. The need for skill upgradation and reskilling has never been as much as it is today, because the industry is changing so fast. And in corporate, the time availability with the learner is very, very less, and therefore this needs to be addressed. As a university, we are focused on online micro-credentials, which means I need to learn about something for 4 to 5 hours. I don't have to spend a full course of 30 hours or 100 hours. And therefore, micro-credential is the way ahead, wherein you can learn whatever is required to be learned. Number 2, we involve industry right from the beginning, design stage itself, and then in the delivery and evaluation. We did something extremely important in 2021, wherein we got the skill sets required in all 38-39 industry sectors from LinkedIn analysis, and we mapped the curriculum and identified the gap. You will be happy to know that the gap was anywhere between 3% to 40%. And next 3-4 months we plugged all the gaps, and the result we see today, our students are more employable, more in line with what industry expects. This kind of exercise we keep on doing every year, not only LinkedIn, but we get feedback from our recruiters, and that matches with what the industry required as of yesterday, and we keep on our curriculum updated. In fact, some modules are mandated to be delivered by industry experts in a curriculum of every subject.
Infinity Learn